Boy, I'm excited about this one here because if you thought last night we had plenty to talk about, wait until you have a load of what we have here in front of us. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I think about our guest and the words destiny achieved. He most certainly achieved his destiny in the most recent NEW Super Show when he won that NEW Undisputed Championship. And boy, it certainly took, well, let's just say the world pretty much in front of him, and he did, and he's going to talk about that. I'm almost stuttering just to think about how he achieved that goal of finally winning that NEW Undisputed Championship. We will talk about that. We will talk about that GTS Hardcore Championship that he held, and well, he held it, but then let's just say the body took it, and then, well, we'll get into that. We'll also talk about maybe a trip that he went and took in Iowa and talked about, well, he wrestled one guy who was the most controversial figure in wrestling history and then wrestled a boogeyman and a hardcore god. Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll most certainly talk about Palo, Iowa. We'll also talk about maybe what's most important here tonight is coming up here in less than 3 weeks. TF Cruise, A Day of Atonement, where we have got some of the very best matches around, not just in the underground circuit, but everywhere. We have a link up for that. We have some matches to discuss, some names that we've certainly talked about and haven't got a chance to talk about. I've got some TF Crew announcements ahead of some guests coming on here on Sportswire Radio, and I'm sure we'll mix it up and talk about the usuals. We'll talk about this, and we'll maybe even talk about football season coming up. Why would we talk about football on Sportswire Radio? Because our guest has a YouTube page that you might want to look at because he talks about almost every forgotten position, and I don't even know how he remembers all these people. And I tried out years ago before I almost became one, but who wants to be a millionaire? So, yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about a slew of these. But I've got a gift for our guest. And no, it's not Anthony Steele coming on. No, it's not Omen Black coming on. No, it's not the body. No, it's not Be Insane. No, it's not the DHC, but we'll give that to him later on. But ladies and gentlemen, let's now introduce our guest. And he hasn't got this formal introduction this year, even though he was on here with Soldier GP. We'll definitely talk about the IMF. He was here not too long ago. He had a few things to say, but it has been a minute. And it's his first introduction he's getting in the calendar year of 2025. Boy, where does the time fly? And ladies and gentlemen, this is a man I've actually met. I don't know why he and his family wanted to meet me, but they did. But in the famous words of Def Leppard frontman Joe Elliott, let's get rock, baby, because I see our chat is here. I see this man is like, come on, Tom, shut up already. I actually know you in real life. Let's get this show on the road here in style on Sportswire Radio, the #1 global radio station where all music and wrestling matters. So we're done! Without further ado, here on the Sports Report, #1 Gamble Sports Show. A man that has certainly done it all, inside and outside the ring. He's the owner of one of the premier companies around in the underground, the TF Crew. He's about to have his A Day of Atonement here. He's also the reigning, defending NEW Undisputed Champion, formerly the GTS Hardcore Champion, and just most recently went into the IMF, certainly Iowa's premier wrestling company. His name is simply put, the Heartstopper, Gabe. The champ is here, my friend. How are we doing?
I'm doing pretty damn good. How are you, Tom?
I'm doing great. I feel like a helium balloon, but we do this all the time, and you haven't got one of these yet this calendar year, which is kind of crazy to me, but we'll certainly make up for some lost time. You do have a lot to talk about, and you are one of these guys. When you come on here, definitely we pay attention, and there's a lot of places I can go, but I want to go first because I see that belt here on your shoulder, and I want to, for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform you, Gabe Sayers, and the many companies that you represent have certainly helped build Sportswire Radio here to the tune of now nearly 1,600 subscribers. Gabe Sayers, the Heartstopper, talk about what it means to you to be the reigning, defending NEW undisputed champion.
I mean, to just put it bluntly, it was a long time coming. I've been hustling and cutting my teeth down in NEW for years before a lot of the big matches, before a lot of the big companies, before even I was inherently a decent, halfway okay wrestler myself. NEW has been nothing but great opportunity for me and has allowed me to maximize myself as a wrestler and a character. So being able to now pass it on to the next generation of NEW has been honestly like one of my biggest goals. And in fact, while achieving that goal of trying to make NEW the best company possible, and I have found myself holding the NEW Undisputed World Championship. And I mean, to be in that awesome lineage of undisputed champions is honestly a testament to the work that we've put into NEW. But honestly, mostly it's just an honor. It's an honor to be on the same list as Jake Dvorak, even though he's an enemy, to be on the list of Power Surge, Be Insane. I mean, this is a really
the title from Be Insane. Yep.
Right. This is an extremely strong list. So to be a part of that lineage forever is something that I'll forever hold near and dear to my broken little heart. And honestly, I think that this is such a beautiful opportunity for me to try to bring this to new places and show this some new states and just give this belt the love that it deserves. Has been an amazing opportunity, and I could not have done it without everyone's help in the NEW locker room. This wasn't just a single person doing this by himself. I know I wrestled Be Insane all by myself, but if it wasn't for the people in the locker room motivating me, pushing me to be better, and telling me that there is a light at the end of the tunnel to this threat that is DHC and Be Insane, there would be no Gabe Sayers as undisputed champion. So thank you guys for your support.
Well, I will certainly gonna plug a few NEW things here, but the DHC has certainly been quite a thing, and Mr. Dvorak is here at 8:00 Eastern time on Wednesday. I'm sure he'll give his side of the story and a couple of things, but you've faced a lot of obstacles this year in NEW. You have faced a lot of obstacles. You've went through different things. You've faced different opponents. I have Tyson Spade here in the chat. Reyes Silver's here, obviously DHC. And, this hasn't been the year where Gabe Sayers had this path that was almost right in front of him. You really fought through a lot of obstacles. Does that make winning the Undisputed Championship that much more rewarding because of what you went through here this calendar year to get to where you are today?
I think adversity creates true champions. So obviously the clear adversity of having to deal with something like the DHC running amok in NEW. And it's something that I've seen before. We had a locker room meeting that ended up making the show. And in that locker room meeting, me and Leonidas were kind of leading that meeting because we talked about, we've seen this before. We have played this game where there's this big overarching evil group trying to take over and act like they own NEW, and that's Redux in the past. And
Yep.
there are some similar members from Redux now
Yep.
also in the DHC. So me and Leonidas talked about, we've seen this before, we've done this before. And to bring that experience to that crew of young guys who really don't understand why is DHC doing this? Why is DHC targeting me, my friends? What did I do? Help to try to give that perspective and then help show them that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. That, you know, when you overcome adversity and you hustle and you fight and you work hard every single day to maximize yourself, not only as a wrestler, but as a person, you too can become an undisputed champion. And now I think of someone like Kuma, who just took that hardcore belt off of Rhea Silver in that fantastic showing, helping show these young and newer guys at NEW that you can do it. You can beat this big, evil, you know, we call them Doc Holliday's children because that's what they feel like they want to be. They want to be these evil little kids, you know, you can beat them. I know that strength in numbers is a real thing, but when we come together and we all hustle and we train and we improve with each other,
yeah,
Dark Horse Cucks are just another fucking nail in the coffin. It's another day. So you know what? Everybody help push me to this point, and I want to help push others to this point as well.
So that's an interesting segue because there is a lot of pressure on you going forward in NEW. You mentioned the DHC. You've also mentioned some other names. And yes, you had a locker room meeting. Yes, you had your best friends help and hoist you up there. And one of those names is coming on to Sportswire this week. But we see it all the time. Look at Joe Starr, right? I mean, he wins the Northeast Championship. And, you know, we saw, you know, how he had to deal with that. And there's always that transition of being the hunter to the hunter. This is the first time, Gabe, in your career, decorated career, that you've won the Undisputed Championship. We have the All Out War right around the corner here on September 6th. So how are you going to deal with the pressure now of being the incumbent? I mean, I think that's now going to be your next transition.
I embrace challenge. I embrace adversity, and I always want to cut my teeth as much as possible, improve myself as much as possible, work hard. And I think the belt is only just such a great motivator into doing that. I know now that it is no longer me trying to chase to the top and I sit at the top, but I see this as a beautiful opportunity for not only me, but for everybody in NEW, because I'm not going to hide behind the belt. I'm not going to hide behind the contract offers or hide the fact that, oh, I can't defend the belt. Oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I don't want to get new people getting eyes onto this belt. So what do I want to do is I'm going to defend this belt at every single opportunity that I have. I think that is my job at this point now, is to make this belt a little bit more widely known, whether it's in the state of Massachusetts, Connecticut, whatever. I need to continue to move this belt around and move myself around for not only the betterment of myself and my own skill, but for NEW as well, because there is an overarching layer in NEW. It's not just the Dark Horse Cult. It is NEW. All the extremely hardworking men and women that wrestle at NEW deserve to be seen, deserve to prosper in this professional wrestling scene. And I want to bring them to that place. I want to continue to have everybody improve and work hard and continue to make themselves massive stars everywhere. Because at the end of the day, when you make yourself a massive star elsewhere and come back home to NEW, you just make NEW that much bigger and greater in the process. So I want to not only just be, the hunted and have everyone chase after me. I want to lead the pack of a rightful charge in NEW and make everybody the best wrestler possible, not just myself.
But that's something that you said interestingly here, and we're putting up the match that you had to win that Undisputed Championship from being sane, is that you have been to different places. You have been to greener pastures. And, Jake has talked about that when you've been here. Spade has talked about that when he has been here. And you're actually wanting to come back here to NEW to help grow the brand and also to bring up some of the other talents. And I think that might be a bit of a difference than prior champions that had the title and they went elsewhere. And, they're obviously doing different and great things, but it sounds to me like you're here. You're going to keep going to the different places that you've been to. We'll touch upon those later, but you're actually here not only to grow the NEW brand, but to also help up those that are with you in the locker room. And that's only going to make everybody around you in NEW even that much better.
When we say that NEW is a family, I don't just mean that in the fact that I really like these people and I like and enjoy my time with them. I truly mean that this is a family and I treat this like a family. At the end of the day, yes, I could just stop going to NEW at any point. And yes, I could just leave behind people that I've called friends and family for a very long time, but I see no purpose in that. I think wrestling is bigger than that, in my opinion. And I also know, especially
I
with
agree.
myself and my, heart issues and other things that we've talked about at nauseum, I think that my job here is to uplift as many people as possible. So even someone that I dislike, like a Jake Dvorak, like a BN Sane, I do want to see them grow. I want to see them improve, and I want to continue to see them getting booked at more and more places
Well,
because
that
that's just
Boys and
making them
Girls Club,
better.
by the way, I saw that interaction there that B Insane had. Just saying.
Yeah, even though I have personal grudges against both those men, I still brought them into that Boys and Girls Club show that we hosted with TF Crew.
Yes.
I want to see everybody improve. I want to see everybody continue their wrestling journey and maximize and find what they want in wrestling. The only way you're going to find peace or inner peace with wrestling is by achieving your goals and feeling some sort of form of completion in wrestling. I know that my goal isn't to go to the WWE. It isn't to be on AEW. I just want to maximize myself, make friends and family that I will have for a lifetime, and help elevate everybody that I can in the process. And I think that's the beauty of NEW. This is truly my family. I'm not here to run away. I'm not here to catch a little success at another company and run away and stop coming. I am there every single month that I humanly can be to help improve everybody there and including myself. This is truly a family, and it will be a family until the day that either I die or NEW dies.
No, and I definitely agree with all those sentiments. And there's no question that NEW is a great company. And if you'd like to hit the sub button for them, I'm going to put their handle up here in a minute. And there's no question that a lot of the locker room has been on the platform. And I got a couple of announcements for some other NEW people that are going to be here right before the All Out War. And I'll get to that in a few minutes here. But I mean, obviously those are great things, but where does this in your career? You've been and had success in companies like GTS. You've challenged for their main championship there most recently. You've done it before. You've wrestled Graham. You've also held the hardcore championship. So yeah, you could say, well, I don't want to be in WWE or AEW, but GTS has got 1 million plus subs and they get 30, 40,000 views per show a pop. So you've definitely got the outreach. So this victory in your career, where does it rank?
I don't think I have a ranking for victories. I think it's just it is. I like it. I like the ranking of like tier lists of like S,
Okay,
A, B,
that's
C.
cool.
It's obviously S tier. This is an S tier win for my career,
Sure.
and it just felt like just the perfect conclusion to the amount of work that I've been putting into NEW for years. And it felt like just the most perfect swan song opportunity to do it against someone like BN Sane as well, who I
I
once
mean, what a run
considered.
he's had, by the way. I know
Yeah,
you've
right.
certainly felt the brunt of it, but he's beaten, several people at a time. And, he's just, I mean, what this man has done the last few months, I mean, it's been on another level.
I can't agree more. BN Sane has been on a fantastic level, and that's also part of it. At the end of the day, I don't respect him as a person, but I respect him as a competitor. And what we have to do is continue to just build that amazing run in NEW and other companies everywhere he goes. This is a great talent that needs to be put around more, and I feel like that is my job, is to continue to expand NEW, because as much as I love being in this NEW compound and battling it out, I do want to see NEW running live shows. I want to see NEW getting paid, having paid fans watching their show. I mean, that is obviously the eventual goal
I do
with most of
subscribe
what
to
we
the
do.
Patreon, $5 a month.
Of
So if I
course, right?
count, yeah, I do subscribe to the Patreon, just like I subscribe to yours. So I mean, just
And
saying.
see, because you're the man, Tom, because you're the
I
man.
don't know
And
about that,
it's
but
people like you that are helping give us that background funding to begin running live shows so that we can get Be Insane in front of audiences more often, as simply
that's a
as
good
that.
point. That's a good point. Because you've done it with TF Crew. The
Yep.
IMF has made the transition, and people should want to try to do that. And I think NEW, whatever they're going to do, is going to be great. And I'm sure
Right
Jake
here.
is going to give his side of the story here coming up. But a grueling match, and spoiler alert, it's about to come to an end here shortly. But obviously you went through a lot here. And like I said, coming up though in a couple weeks, you're going to certainly have your work cut out for you. And whatever happens to keep your championship, just saying.
I mean, that is obviously that is the final line, and that is the most important part, is going to be keeping this NEW Undisputed Championship with me for as humanly long as possible. and just maximizing my time with the belt. That's my job every single time, and maximizing the potential of NEW as a whole, because I do believe that NEW has potential to start running really killer live shows. I think a lot of these guys on the roster, you know, my personal opinions on them aside, like Joestar, like Kuma, like Sane, like Jake, even Power Surge when he comes in and out. I mean, you know, Rhea, Spade. There's so many great.
How about Caster, by the way? Christopher Black, just saying, by the way.
Yeah, right. My children right there. I mean, I not only plucked them out of a backyard, but I trained them. You know what I mean? I helped kind of build them up to where they're at.
Leonidas, Kobo,
Leonidas, Hiroshima. Look how Hiroshima's improvement has been crazy. Fun fact,
every
Hiroshima.
Banks is on here. He's got to mention Shima, not just for the doobie, but just got to mention him for the wrestling.
Right? Shima's improvement has been like amazing and so awesome to watch. I've been so happy with the progress of Shima. Shima's gotten some new gear. Shima's been really building his moveset up, more of character. They just maximizing himself is Shima. And that's made me just so happy to see, because it is, at the end of the day, everybody wants to wrestle in front of a crowd. Everybody wants to get paid to wrestle. That is just a universal thing with wrestlers. And if we can work our way up to that slowly but surely, all we're going to do is build longevity with that. If we rush ourselves, if we go out before we're ready for a live show and we go and run a show and the show sucks, those fans aren't going to want to come back. So
I know I get all the bands on, and trust me, I just watched King's X play, and they come out, the band comes out, Doug Pinnick comes out, and his bass, something happened with his mic and his bass. You're in front of 500-600 people, and you're like, okay, what happened? So you want to make sure everything goes on without a hitch. So yeah, that's a duly point well noted. And obviously we're about to watch the finish here and such, but what a war between you and B Insane, and I have no doubt that you are going to be a huge part of NEW show coming up September the 6th. It's the All Out War, and here we go, and there you have it. I mean, just the moment. Destiny achieved. Destiny achieved,
Tom. I can't agree more.
And then, you see the, Joestar, Joestar comes out and obviously, it wasn't what he had hoped for. And you're just there, you're looking up at, up in the stars. And now you're finally about to get hoisted up, and you're about to see that championship, and an unbelievable feeling. And I mean, what's going through your mind here right now in this moment?
Right here, as he's holding me this belt, I mean, besides exhaustion, obviously, and immense pain.
20 plus minutes out there. Yeah.
Yeah, it was this is the moments that we dream of as competitors, right? When you're daydreaming about professional wrestling, when you're just thinking about professional wrestling, you just see yourself holding up one of the biggest prizes, which is this undisputed championship. So, I took a second. As you could see, I was laying down.
MJ Sear and Caster help you and hoist you up for that Daniel Bryan-like moment here.
Yeah, and to be able to just take in the moment for a second, I think that was something that's super important, and that's something that I could recommend to a lot of wrestlers. And it is, in a moment like this, is just soak in the moment for a second. As you can see, I'm not screaming, I'm not taunting. I'm soaking in the moment, and I'm letting it register that I am champion. I have worked my ass off for this, and now I am the undisputed champion. So really enjoying the moment and making this a memory that I can hold forever was extremely important to me in this moment.
Well, I could see that it was very important, and there is the Golden Boy Kuma, and he obviously comes out there, and everybody's looking, and he thinks about it, and obviously instead, that's what he does. And obviously the man was the longest entrance. I think you think my intro's long, at least I'm not wrestling, but he does at least, give you something. And it wasn't that briefcase to cash in, but what a nice gesture. And we see the guys come out and show you that sign of respect. And I see people here in the chat that are giving you that sign of respect. But, one of those guys that had come out and helped you to lift you up, to give you that moment here as the undisputed champion, was Caster. And I just like to let you know, Mr. Sayers, that Caster is going to be arriving here to Sportswire Radio for the first time Friday night. He's got a lot to talk about, especially when it comes to NEW. He's going to be talking about his own A Day of Atonement here in TF Crew on September the 7th. And he'll be here this coming Friday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Same bat channel. But Caster will be here live. I'm very excited about this man because I think he is one of the most electrifying and charismatic wrestlers I have seen on my screen. And we're going to get a chance to meet him here in prime time this Friday night, Gabe Sayers.
I think Caster is that ultimate X factor in wrestling, and it has been an honor and a blessing to watch his journey in wrestling and help mentor him and make him the best wrestler possible. I think his match in the TF crew coming up September 7th is only speaks volumes to that of
Yep.
Finishing his story, really putting a cap on the craziness that's been him and Leonidas over these past few years. And I think this is truly an opportunity for everyone to see how much Caster's improved and how much Caster can flourish in this world.
Now, conversely, I want to say on the opposite end, on September the 5th, right before the All Out War, I'm going to have on Rhea Silver. Now, Rhea Silver is going to give the opposite end of the story, and she's going to talk about everything that the DHC is going to do to maybe take away your championship and make your life miserable and make your life a living hell and make sure your title run is short-lived and makes it as short-lived as some of Dusty Rhodes' title reigns, but maybe even shorter. So I just want to point that out. We may be getting Caster here, but in 2 weeks right afterward, Rhea Silver is going to be here, and I'm very excited because Rhea is going to be here for the first time, and we're going to talk a lot about the DHC. We're going to talk a lot about the All Out War right before the All Out War show, and Gabe, I know you're going to be finding something else to do that day because you're not going to certainly want to hear what the DHC has to say about your run as champion coming up, and maybe they'll tell us about why your championship run is going to end maybe the next day. But I'm looking forward to some new faces coming to Sportswire Radio, figuratively and literally.
I'm happy to see Rhea get on Sportswire, and I'll be even happier once I see Rhea stop being a dork horse cuck and finally come to that light side and realize how much more potential Rhea has in this industry than just running around playing pretend emo. That's what I'm excited for.
Well, you know what? I am not. Those are your words, sir. I'm not going to say those words to Rhea Silver, but I'm very excited about Caster and Rhea Silver coming to the Sportswire Radio Network, and I'm also excited about Jay the Awesome is here. Jay the Awesome is here tomorrow night, a man you know as well, and he'll be here at 8:00 and tomorrow night. And Jay was very kind to go out of his way and share on Instagram and Facebook, and I was very excited about that. So we have some new faces, figuratively and literally, and you haven't been here technically this calendar year, but while you're here, and I see a lot of people in the chat from different places, which is always great, hit the sub button for NEW. They're ever so coming close to 2,500 subscribers, and let's support those who support us. We have some great faces from the company that are going to be on here, and I definitely want to talk about that coming up. Caster and Rhea Silver. I'm sure you'll see some other faces come on, but please hit the subscribe button for them. Please support every company that comes on here. We really want to thank everybody for coming on. I know there's a lot to talk about. I know I got to mention GTS. I got to plug TF Crew. That's a special one. I got IMF. I got to definitely talk about, but I do want to plug something recently because you hit 1,000 subscribers on your own YouTube channel. I know there's some people here that like football. I'm going to give you a few minutes on that. I know we're going to get to everybody else, but let's plug your YouTube channel because obviously football season, some people might want your fantasy football insights and maybe forgotten position players of who knows what, but that is Gabe's YouTube channel. You might be hearing about it for the first time on here, but with football season coming up, I figured I would give Gabe an opportunity to plug himself. And so what's the reason that you've come up with something like this and your fascination with forgotten receivers, quarterbacks, running backs, all these different positions? You've become like a savant of like football players from like 2007. I mean, here you go.
I love football. I've always loved football as a kid. My mom actually got me into football growing up, and I want to be different from her. So that's why I refuse to be a Patriots fan like she is. And
Connecticut's always kind of funny because part of the state considers themselves Giants fans. The other part of the state, farther up toward you, would be Patriot fans. And then there's those sprinkled in that might consider themselves Jets fans because they moved from either Brooklyn or Long Island and became Jet fans and moved there. So Connecticut's kind of like, I don't want to say like New Jersey, but it sort of is, and like what teams they're aligned to in a sense.
And I think the best part is I'm a Commanders fan now. So not even close to any of those teams. So
well, you finally have something to talk about. But I mean, what's the research that's put into this and all these players? You've got forgotten this, forgotten that. I mean, NFL legends that played for this team that nobody knew about, and for quarterbacks you forgot about. I mean, how do you come up with this?
I love forgotten players. Why? Because I love playing Madden. And
Okay.
on Madden, I play a mode called franchise mode, which is where you like rebuild teams and get to be like the general manager and head coach of different teams. So I loved
Mm.
seeing all these different like average role players growing up, and to see them kind of fade away into the darkness and kind of become forgotten. I've found it to be my job to remind everybody in the world about some of these lovely forgotten players that definitely should not be forgotten for a variety of reasons. I love football, but the greatest thing about this channel is it also takes away some wrestling for me. When I'm
Okay.
not, doing wrestling, it helps me keep it fresh. It helps me continue to love wrestling to a maximum because it's not the only thing that I do. I'm starting to diversify my pool of content a lot more because I do want to make a living off content one day. That is a major goal for me. So to achieve that goal, I am looking to diversify content. Like you see here,
Sure.
I have just gotten monetized off here. I'm making money on this channel now, and it's truly a beautiful thing. It's another stream of revenue. I actually have a channel in the works right now where I'm going to be talking about just like mainstream wrestling stuff like
Wow.
WWE, AEW, yeah. And of course, in relation to this channel, the first video is about a forgotten SmackDown superstar who I won't reveal who it is just
Yeah,
yet.
don't do secrets. We like to be in the dark like everyone else.
Of
But
course. So we've got some great content lined up, and that's one thing that I also strive myself on is I'm not just a wrestler, but I'm a content creator. I love
no,
making
it's I
videos.
you know what? I give you credit. I mean, to go out and do something totally out of your wheelhouse, what you're not known for. And I know we'll get to wrestling, but if you are here, hit the sub button for Gabe's page, and I have something else for Gabe. I got a couple things for Gabe tonight. We're going to
Mm,
give him, but yeah, obviously support some of the videos and watch them, like them. If you're a football fan and you know other people who are football fans, check out his page. I've actually watched some of your videos. You got some really good ones. I've gotten a chance to watch a bunch of them. I've shared it on some of my other pages, but
thank you.
who are some real quick? Because I know I got a lot to talk about tonight with you, and I'm going to go to the IMF next before I get to the chat and get to everybody else. But who are some of, I guess, maybe the most memorable, forgotten players you got a chance to look up and talk about in your videos?
I think, well, I call Kevin Hogan the mascot of my channel. He's a very, very, very forgotten quarterback. Had a very brief run in the NFL. He's kind of the
I don't even
mascot of
remember
my channel.
Kevin Hogan. I don't remember
Yeah.
that name.
2016, fifth round pick for the Chiefs, never played a snap for
Okay.
the Chiefs, got released before the season started. And during that 2017 season where the Browns went winless, actually started a game for the Browns during that winless Browns season. He was in that Browns QB room carousel.
Oh well, they
I
still have nothing's changed now because they have
Yeah,
Joe
right.
Flacco with the starting quarterback at 40. Who would have guessed?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's a fun irony of that. Some of the other really fun players that I've been able to talk about that I would qualify as forgotten players. I really had a ton of fun actually making the video that just came out today. It's a forgotten running backs list.
Okay.
Bringing it back to the classics. I was able to talk about guys like Bernard Robinson, who was really
Okay.
cool. He's a Jaguars receiving back who had a little time in the sun. And
Yeah, not
in
every.
college, he played quarterback, wide receiver, running back. He played almost every position in college.
Okay.
So, and then coming to the NFL, just played running back. It was really
Okay.
cool to talk about Vic Ballard. Vic Ballard is
Okay.
extremely forgotten. He was the starting running back for Andrew Luck's rookie season
Okay.
and
Okay.
then had retired the year after because of injuries. So he would then tear his ACL the preseason of the next year, just start to make a comeback the year after, and tore his meniscus and retire. So he only played one season in the NFL, but he had a
Wow.
very solid one season in the NFL as a starting running back during Andrew Luck's rookie year on the Colts. So being able to talk about stuff like that is just super, super awesome. I love talking about forgotten wide receivers. Obviously, like guys like Dwayne Bowie are so unloved. Anthony Armstrong, like some nice, real classic names. I just met a kid. It was after GTS. We were in IHOP eating, and we had this kid training. He was all decked out in Chiefs gear. And I was like, man, you remember like Dwayne Bowie, like Tom Ali,
Oh yeah, he was
like
looking at you probably
Matt
with like
Castle?
four
He's like,
different heads. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, oh, okay, never mind. It was worth a shot.
Yeah,
I
he probably
love
was a
classic
Chiefs
players.
fan. When they started winning. Oh, I'm a Chiefs fan now. Like, listen, it's like everybody, when the Warriors were winning with Curry and Clay, I'm a Warriors fan. My buddy Josh Bailey, who I know is not watching this in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. Oh, I'm a Warrior. He was a Warriors fan. All of a sudden they started winning. I'm a Warriors fan now. So yeah,
Exactly.
I get it. I get it.
Exactly. And I was laughing. I was dropping some classic Chiefs names on him, and he was lost in the sauce. It looked like I just fucking thrown sand at
At
him.
least you
He was
didn't mention
confused.
like Elvis Gerback as the quarterback. I'm
I
sure that
love Elvis Gerback. I adore Elvis Gerback. I think I think a real dorky forgotten quarterback I love talking about is like John Booty and David Booty.
Oh
At
yes, I
Mark.
do remember them. Yes, I do remember them. There was another player that played briefly, Josh Booty, who was drafted in
Yep.
the major leagues in the NFL. And I remember as a kid that his rookie card was supposed to have been worth so much money. It was for LSU, and I think the Yankees drafted him, and he got drafted in the NFL. I forget what team, but he was drafted. He was like, "Oh, he's supposed to be like you're gonna be rich." I mean, now years later, I did get money, so I can't say it didn't turn out so bad. But
Right.
it was like everybody was like, "Oh my God, he was gonna be great," and he played like I don't know, a couple years. He had a cup of coffee, and
Yeah.
did,
Got out.
different things. Yeah.
That's what I love about these forgotten players. I love also sharing the stories on why, like, I find these forgotten players near and dear, like John Skelton, former Cardinals quarterback.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember that name. I remember that
he,
name.
I would, when I would play on Madden, I would never use the Cardinals because his picture
Oh,
scared me. He was just really ugly, so his picture scared me, and I would never use the Cardinals. Little stories like that, and getting to share that. I thought this guy was so ugly, I didn't want to use him in Madden. Was just like little silly fun things like that was awesome. Talking about other great names. I mean, I think about the Redskins. My Commanders had
well,
just
you've
a
had a lot of quarterbacks, to
plethora,
be honest. You haven't had much up until
plethora.
recently. I mean, what was your best quarterback for a period of time?
Alex Smith, Kirk Cousins, like
Yeah, Kirk Cousins. Yeah, probably Kirk
Alex
Cousins.
Smith. That's
Alex
probably the
Smith.
best one. And before that, Jason Campbell had a decent year. Like that's what's 1 year, by the way,
I think
too.
Trent
Keep that in
Green
mind.
threw for 4,000 yards maybe a year, maybe threw 4,000 yards. I mean,
Yeah,
that's like 20 years, 20 plus years now. I mean, that's like
yeah.
that's how bad it was. Yeah, but you finally got a quarterback and you finally are going somewhere. So now, you finally got to the point there. But yeah, I could talk about this all day, but I know we got to move on. But please hit the sub button for Gabe's other account. And you got some subs out of it. So I do my part. And
Hell
Justin
yeah.
Parsley reposted this stream. And thank you for that. And a lot of people do want to get to you in the chat. We're going to wait. We're going to wait 1 more minute. I do want to, you know what? We'll go to GTS. Then on the other side of the break, well, the chat is the break tech. Because, Jason yesterday definitely did a good job for you. Jason left, the vestiges of yesterday's chat because you have a lot of people here today. So thank you, Jason Storm. But, GTS, what's going on? You had the hardcore championship and then you lost it to the body. You went after Ice-T Curtis. And, I got to ask you because people love GTS here. And, what's going on with you and GTS right now?
GTS right now, I'm in a tough spot in GTS right now, and I'll be the first to admit it. But that is the first step, is realizing I'm in a tough spot in GTS.
Okay.
Lost the hardcore title in a gauntlet match. It's supposed to be me and Isaac Scythe 1-on-1.
Yes.
And then after Grim had lost his world championship, the legendary YouTube championship, he went a little nuts. And by little nuts, I mean he just completely changed our match. He just said, "Oh, you and Scythe aren't 1-on-1 anymore. Now it's going to be this 8-9 man gauntlet fuckery. Oh, Gabe, you're the champion. Yeah, you're going to start the gauntlet." So again, it sucked to lose it, but how long could I have survived in a gauntlet with 8+ people with some like GTS legends that were in that match? Truly don't know. It was honestly a great war to be able to eliminate Killer K. It was a great war
was
to be
in
able to
there, by the
eliminate
way,
Doc.
after you left Jimmy Controversy's back. I mean,
mid-series. Yeah, there was a lot of names in there. And unfortunately, the body caught me with a roll-up. I was exhausted. Doc is no easy fucking task. Neither is Killer K.
Doc, we spoke a lot of. Just ask Jake about that. He's back on Wednesday. I'm sure we'll get a throw a mention or two in about Doc and Jake. I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. And the body caught me with a roll up. It was frustrating. I had got dinked in the head during the Killer K portion of the match, and so I was already a little woozy and on Dream Street. And unfortunately, the body caught me. Then once Vince Series Jr. was in the ring, and I saw him gloating with the title. And I don't know, it struck a nerve with me. It's not like me to be that aggressive or that just frankly rude or mean as I was. But it struck a nerve with me to see him gloating in the middle of the ring with the title for a title he hasn't worked for. He's not at GTS every week like I am. He's not hustling and trying to help improve himself, training at GTS under guys like Tony Cini. He's not out there putting his body on the line every week like I am, not only at GTS, but just around the fucking wrestling scene as a whole. So you know what? It really did fucking piss me off. And it really did make me frankly mad to see him just holding the belt, think that he was a true champion, because he's not a champion. He's a play wrestler. I'm a real fucking wrestler. He is a play wrestler. So, it really it grinded something in my brain. So I went into the ring. I slid in and I pitched the handshake, and I saw the look in his eyes. He would never have taken that handshake. So I did what I had to do. Single leg takedown, put him down on the ground and pound strikes until a drop kick met his chin. At the end of the day, Vince Series Jr. is a play wrestler, and he's a wannabe hardcore wrestler. I am not only just hardcore, I am hardcore. core. I am the heart of GTS, and I will be taking my hardcore title back, whether it's from Vince Series Jr. or the vacant monster, because, at some point we got to take this thing from him if he doesn't show up, right? So again,
Yeah, I mean, listen, certainly plans change, and change of plans, cards subject to change. You found that out figuratively and literally here in GTS, and I could understand why you were upset, especially after you came out there and you came back with a handshake, and it went the way it went.
Yep, and that's why I said it in the last match I had. I just competed in another ladder match for GTS, and I said it there,
I did
and
see that.
I meant it. I'm not going to be a side character. I refuse to be a side character. I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to work on myself. I'm going back to the drawing board a little bit. I have a slightly different look on some of these modern GTS matches right now. I got the black wife beater on. I'm taping up my wrists with white tape. I'm bringing it back a little bit, and I'm going back to that idea of cutting my teeth a little bit and really trying to maximize who I am at GTS, and frankly, go punch someone in the fucking face. I've been getting pissed off lately.
Well, you should be, because obviously you lost your championship. You've been in different matches. We did see the TF crew take on GTS not too long ago as well, and we're watching what's about to happen to you with the Body. The Body is a very well-renowned star, and the Body had your hardcore championship for a minute there. But yeah, I mean, look, obviously it's a dog-eat-dog world in GTS especially, and you've got to figure out your way to navigate it and try to get back if you want your championship, or to continue up the ladder. And I guess we'll have to see what the future holds for you in GTS. You wrestle in a lot of companies with 3 initials, by the way. Just saying, NEW, GTS, IMF. I mean, certainly you do like the 3 initials. Has anybody told you that before?
I go out my places on 3
LTW,
initials.
you've done stuff in. That's another initial with 3 initials. Other company.
All right, what about Pro Wrestling Venom?
Yeah.
What about Venom? There we go.
There you go. All right, so you like more with 3 initials, but the point is, you like companies with 3 initials, and obviously you're a part of GTS, and obviously we're going to talk about Rad Dad later on, the TF crew. He's no longer in GTS, but Jimmy came back. But you're going to have to come back still in GTS to get some gold and some other things. But there's the moment that obviously led you to the way you feel, understandably so, and yeah, you're going to have, I mean, definitely not what we just saw from you and NEW about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, not a moment that I want to relive, not a moment that I'm happy to see. But
I'll move forward and we'll see with the handshake. But yeah, just had to put it up for the audience. They did.
Yeah, understood what's going on. But at the end of the day, it is motivation. Was awesome to battle Ice-T Curtis for the legendary.
Yeah, he's a guy I've spoken to many times, and he's another guy on my list that I actually do need to bring on to Sportswire. Add him on the list. So absolutely. Yeah, he's a guy I've spoken to a lot, actually, and hopefully we'll bring him on one day. But obviously, you've had your run-ins, and you're not too happy. I could see why.
I think Ice-T Curtis was a great example of, when I faced Ice-T Curtis, I shook his hand and I gave him all the respect that I had, because he's earned my respect. Frankly, he is one of the real bright points of GTS right now, and he's a reason that GTS is a just top viewed company right now, and it's because of guys like Ice-T.
Yeah, number 7 in the world. Number 7. That's why when you say, "Oh, yeah, I'll never go to WWE, AEW," well, hello, you're in GTS. You got 1 million plus subs. So I mean, to be fair, I mean, you're one of the guys that has been in a company that's in the bright lights. You guys have been a part of live shows that have drawn a lot of people, and I mean, you are kind of on the big stage.
Indeed, and I have to take that with a grain of salt, and I can't embarrass myself on that stage. So, it was awesome battling Ice-T, and I know we're going to do it again soon, and I was that close to becoming legendary YouTube champion, and I even pulled out some stuff that we haven't seen out of Gabe Sayers in a while, so always got to love fighting Ice-T.
Well, there's a lot of excitement there ahead, and we're going to certainly switch gears. A lot of people here in the chat, I want to get to them. They want to talk to you. I want to promote TF Crew. I want to talk about your IMF stint recently, because I know that's certainly what a lot of people would like to hear about as well. And we'll take this off the screen. I do want to plug GTS because even though they've got 1 million plus subs, let's get them another 5 or 6 subs. I mean, that's the whole name of the game. And
Right.
obviously, we'll go with that. And there you go. Hit the sub button for GTS, please, and please support them. And actually, I do speak to the person with on X with the GTS Universe. Always talks to me, says I watch the shows, I watch them on X, I watch them here. So I want to give a shout out to some of the people in GTS because a couple of them do watch. And shout out to Mr. Connor Schaefer, the flag boy, sometimes the stepson of Rad Dad. And I want to say hello to Billy Gold out there. So definitely we'll get to them later. But let me get to the chat. A lot of people want to talk to you. Let me pull you up here on the big screen. And Eddie Pizzo just subbed. My buddy Eddie Pizzo. Eddie, if you're here, go sub to Gabe's YouTube account. He's got football forgotten players that you probably remember from like 1981 when like the Jets were in the AFC Championship game. Ain't gonna happen this year. Well, it was 82. The strike year was 82. So we'll go with that. Speaking of people here that are hardcore, a man that is the IMF Hardcore Champion. Ironically enough, you defended the GTS Hardcore Championship in the IMF, but that is Mr. Ox McCoy, and he's first tonight. He did want to say hello to you.
I love Ox McCoy. I love him.
We all love Ox.
Once he stops pretending to be a wolf and furry or whatever else they're doing down there in Iowa, where they're fucking each other with corn husks.
That's your words, not me. I vehemently disagree with that. I am going to vehemently disagree with that. And I am going to say hello to Ox and hello to Zilla because Zilla is here first in the chat. Obviously, hello to Ox McCoy. I said we'll be going on in 10 minutes, so we can ignore that. Dakota, I know, is leaving or may have left to go to work. I want to say hello to Dakota. Hope that she is enjoying the show, and she is a big fan of yours, as all of us are, or pretty much most of us here. So please give her a shout out while I find her YouTube channel. But she did want to come in and say hi. I want to say hello to another man you know very well, Cameron Cage, by the way. Cameron Cage, you shared a locker room with, one of my favorites, who I hope returns to wrestling one day. I speak to Cameron from time to time, and I would really hope that he would come back out there and wrestle. I don't know why he hasn't yet. But who knows? But by the way, Dakota's on YouTube. I have her YouTube link up. So do me a favor. If you're here, she only needs 7 more subscribers to 700. If you'd like to subscribe to her page, I actually have it right about here. There you go. There you go. Give her a sub. She's always here for the IMF shows, so please support her. And she's got bracelets. Can you buy her bracelets? I would buy one too, but somebody else.
Mine's in my room right now. I wish I had the bracelet actually sitting in my room right now. But yeah, the bracelet that Dakota made is lit.
You can't buy a bracelet for now. Give her a sub. She's only, like I said, 7 subs away from 700. So we're at 693, and let's get her to 700. So let's give her some subs. Thank you, Dakota, and thank you to everybody else for being here. All right, who else we got? A lot of people here in the chat, which we expected. We expected that because Jason Storm passed the baton to you. No, we're kidding. Everybody knows you. Speaking of people that I know are not big fans of you, though, Felix WWF champion, by the way, and ask Ace Christian. He'll say no comment.
Oh, Felix Jones, that little.
But you see what he did to Anthony Steele though last week in your chair? Did you see what he did to him? He snapped on him. He snapped on him like nobody's ever done to Anthony Steele. And Anthony Steele, you know, you've been in multiple places with Anthony Steele. This is a man that's been evicted from companies, groups, and it took Felix Jones to do what no man has done to Anthony Steele. Just saying.
I gotta say, I have a similar statement to say about that kid, Felix Jones, that I do Ox McCoy. So when he decides to stop playing furry with the House of Wolves and thinks they're an edgy little fur boy and, you know, make gay little wolf TikTok edits, I think that kid is insanely talented. And I think it's widely known that people in IMF are trying to compete with his talent because they see how talented he is. And you know what? It's hard work. The kid works hard.
He does, but since he's gone to the house, well, he seems like his game's been elevated. I mean, ask Justin Parsley about it. He took the PWF title from him. Just saying. I
mean, elevated. I think that's because I didn't mentor him. I think that's what he thinks elevation is. But I think if I mentored that kid right there, I think he would truly understand what having your game elevated looks like.
Well, we'll have to find that out. The Prophet Jordan Crowley is here with his usual comments. Brothers and sisters, rejoice. where I bring you good news today. And today's good news is the truth will be revealed as quickly as Gabe Sayer's heart stops.
Yeah. Sticks likes dicks. I got a lot to say about this guy, and
Well, we'll leave that at that. He has an opinion. We'll let him have it. Yes, we missed his embrace. As I said, Rhea is here. Gabe having a map behind him. Yeah, it's actually funny to me because, there's been this running joke about, champions, world champion, undisputed champion. But you have a globe or a map of around the world, and you're the undisputed champion. So technically, you've got your bases covered. You got a map of the world. You've got the undisputed championships. You could be called the undisputed world champion with that map now.
Right. And I think, Ray, you can find it weird, but obviously I'm doing something in wrestling you're not, and that's traveling. I'm going to point behind me on this map, and I think you can see all the little pins in the wall. I know it's not super clear. I don't have the best camera. You see all the little pins, and all those pins are places that I've been, Ray, and they're not just in the North America. We got some in Asia, we got some in Africa, couple in South America. Ray, I'm doing something you're not, and that's called traveling with and without wrestling. So,
well, you have traveled. Yes, you've been to Iowa, you've been to Tennessee, you've definitely been to some other places, and you did Florida too, right? You did Florida.
Florida's coming up. That is an upcoming adventure that we have going
Florida.
on.
Let's leave it. And you've been to New York. That I know. I've seen you physically in New York, so that counts. Hello to Tyson Spade. Thank you, Tyson. And no heart attacks here, but let's see you do the intro. But no, we love you. Thank you very much for.
Can't even do a minute on the treadmill. You don't think he's not gonna be able to?
I don't. I'm gonna say no
amazing.
comment toward that. But thank you everybody for tuning in. And you got 20 plus people on here. I don't know what those comments are, but we'll move on here. Yeah, the war chants. You can thank Torrance Banks for that. Torrance Banks like we gotta do the war chant. Torrance Banks was on here one episode, and he was like, "You gotta keep doing the war chants. You got to keep doing it." And I was like, okay, you sure? Then I had on LA Guns frontman Phil Lewis. Then we had King's X's Doug Pinnick, who played at Woodstock. And he's like, you're going to sound like James Hetfield of Metallica. Keep doing it. I'm like, okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir. He just opened for Tool. So I'll take his advice. And, Omen was on a couple of times recently, and he was very serious with Damian Saint. So I don't think it required that moment. But we'll move on here. But let's get to Mr. Omen Black, because obviously you wrestled him. And it didn't go the way you would have hoped, but he would like to say, though, on his platform that you may have had differences with him, but he respects you. Although after the match, you may have a difference of opinion on that.
Yeah, Omen, I think we had a really fun match, and I think his war with Damian Saint was incredibly impressive. And yeah, we have our differences, Omen, but you know what? You're a fucking warrior, and I like warriors, and my brand likes warriors. So I think very highly of you, Omen, and I think we'll be breaking you out of Corn Jail, Flatland Jail, Iowa, very, very soon.
Well, I think certainly we'll have to find out what happens between Omen and Damian Saint. What a memorable face-to-face that was here on Sportswire, and obviously we're talking to people here in the chat. We'll let the match play on here for a bit because you and Omen had a very memorable match that a lot of people were talking about. And, obviously that's how it goes. But the house always wins in this match. The house always wins. Everybody talks about the house, but the house in this case finds a way, just saying. So you got to call it down the line. Speaking of people that you haven't met, Chase Wakefield would like to say hello. Chase has got a wedding invitational coming up. I think it's next weekend. Where does the time fly? And shout out to Jay the Awesome. I'm really looking forward to Jay the Awesome, a man that you know a bit. And Jay is going to be on here. I'm going to talk about Yardcade 3 coming up. Yardcade 3 is coming up here this weekend. And I know you've been down there to near Buffalo here in New York, the other part of the state. And he's got a lot to say, Jay the Awesome. Very excited to have him on here. Very impressed with Jay Awesome here over these past several months. And I get a chance to talk with him finally. And the guy's been on my bucket list for a while. We had a lot of the home guys on here, and he's from my state, so we got to get him on here. See what I mean? The DHC ain't done yet. They ain't done with you, just like Omen Black ain't done with you yet here.
So a whole lot of that. I mean, I'm never done.
Well, Soldier wants to say hello, and obviously,
my guy Soldier, my guy.
Wants to say what's up, and obviously the real monsters are really, really out there. And Soldier, definitely a big fan of yours. He's definitely not a big fan of Omen Black. Well, a lot of people aren't. He's not a big fan of Omen Black, but Jordan wants to tell him to chill. But that's okay. He can definitely come on and say hello. Stop quoting Squid Games memes.
I don't even know if I quoted a Squid Games meme. I don't remember that. By the way, Tom, just relating this back to what's going on the screen. You ever do this before?
I haven't done that quite yet. No, I haven't. I mean,
No, a little white powder, maybe get a little excited.
No, you know what? No, I mean, some people would like me to maybe and croak on Sportswire, but let me get back to you on that one. Yeah, I haven't done it.
All right, I'll give you a little longer.
That's okay, but obviously you've done it, and that's why you're Gabe Sayers, and I'm not. But hello to our friends here at CBW, and yes, we appreciate you. We have no problems with CBW. I don't know why anybody would, and that's good. Yeah, we want to just have a good time, and that's what we're all here about. And yes, we appreciate that very much. And Gabe, adversity, you've had plenty of that already. Don't invite more. We're watching some of it you've had with Omen. Just saying.
Yeah, you're watching my beautiful dance moves and my lack of ability to know how to do the 5-knuckle shuffle because I don't know how to do that. So
you know what? But that's why you're Gabe Sayers, and you know what? The rest of us are just living in your world, and we are in Northern Indiana. Okay, that's great. Hello to my friends in the EWA. I must say hello to them in the EWA because we have their champion coming on here this Sunday, and our friends Dark Crown and Matthew Forsaken are wrestling there. They're actually wrestling there for quite a while coming up, and they've got a YouTube channel, so go give them a sub. I spoke to the powers that be in the EWA, and I hear some of the friends of the platform and some of the usuals have been in contact with them. So while you're watching Gabe and Omen, and Gabe, they're in Ohio. I don't know if you've wrestled in Ohio yet. In fact, I'm pretty sure you haven't. No. Maybe they'll sign you too. I mean, they've got a ring, they've got wrestlers, they've got Darkron and Matthew Forsaken now, and I hear other guys are coming down the road. So who knows? Maybe the powers that be will get in touch with you and the rest of the NEW locker room because maybe Massachusetts and Connecticut isn't too far from Ohio. Who knows? But you're the one who's the traveler, not me. But
that's fair.
Okay, let's get to more comments. Yes, thank you for stopping in. We appreciate that. And there you go. See, the boogeyman wants to come there because, well, he's fighting you. And yes, we love NEW, and management is here from NEW. And we will have a lot to talk about with Jake on Wednesday. Jake has a big announcement. And, Jake, look at what he did to Power Surge. Look at what he did to Power Surge, by the way, at 814. Look at what that was. Everyone's talking about that right now. So,
Absolutely.
Very excited about that. You may not be, but I look forward to talking about it.
I like seeing him in 814. I thought that was cool.
I thought that was a really nice thing. That was like one of those, in this day and age in social media to have a surprise. I thought that was really well done. That was job well done. But yeah, anyone welcome. Yes, absolutely. Great stuff. And you can't count that high. And Gabe, you are a humble man. I can confirm that I've met the man for a total of 8 minutes. I know Gabe and I have not always been on the same side, but he definitely earned that Undisputed Championship. You sure did. You definitely did. And Gabe's final line is a flat line. Okay, obviously somebody is quoting the movie. Was it Flanders or whatever? It was the old movie Flatliners. That's it. It was Flatliners. Yeah. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. But Sean Jovi, I got his shirt on, by the way. Sean Jovi, the resident rock star, big fan of yours. Jovi's vlog, he's definitely got it going on, and wanted to say hello to you. There's a lot of people have wanted to say hello. You have a lot of people here. It's never 20 plus people. You and Jason Storm. Thank you, Jason Storm. Thank you, Jason Storm. If he's out there, thank you, regardless of what happens to him in any other company. But thank you, Jason Storm. And yes, hello to Tyson Spade. And hello there to you tuning in. And if you're here, hit the sub button for us. Hit the sub button for NEW. And I think I know this person because his title shot. Just saying.
It's one of my prodigies right there. That's one of my prodigies right there.
Wow. Yeah, well, he just spoiled it for himself. But that's that guy, Christopher Black, just saying. We're going to talk about him on the other side of the chat because I'm really excited about the TF Crew and Day of Atonement. And I think you're here for that, so I'm going to get to that. But we got a lot of people in the chat still. Gabe, you haven't been here in a minute, and people want to say hello, which is great.
I love it. That's what I love. That's what I want.
Well, I love it too because we like to see the people involved, and obviously Omen and you were about to be involved, and Kuma is an idiot. I can't agree with that. And Zilla's enlightened. Okay, that's great. Hello to the DHC. Hit the sub button for the NEW. We're going to put the IMF link up in a minute, but obviously we get this moment between you and Omen, and we'll see a man you've got a lot of history with come out here in a moment. Ray would like to say Gabe has earned a lot of respect for what he has done in and out of the ring. He may never be on the same side of us, but I can admit that fact. Okay, well, maybe you were onto something earlier.
Right.
Find that out. Hello to Sean Jovi and Rhea, same page, different books. Okay, well, that was clever.
This guy talks a lot. You ever notice that? This guy does a whole lot of typing and not a whole lot of exercising. That's something that I've seen.
I'm going to announce my retirement and pass the baton to him. He would do a much better job. But, Gabe Sayers and Rhea Silva are great wrestlers and love watching both of them. And Omen Black loved shaking your hand and doing that to you. Just saying.
Yeah, but look who came out to prevent further damage.
But that's what everybody would say. That's what he always does. That's what I do. That's what I do. Anthony Steele.
Look at him. But look, Omen could continue the beatdown, but look who's stopping him right now.
Well, you know what? It wasn't Anthony's moment. Maybe Anthony should have focused on other things that day. Like the tag, I don't know, but that's Anthony. That's what I do. Anthony will be on Sportswire, I'm sure, soon to talk about this when the time comes. Speaking of people that are here, the Hall of Fame monitor, who did his due diligences tonight and shared our link on X, Justin Parsley, he really is here. He and Soldier are really here on Sportswire. We love that. And he says Gabe and exclamation points. Just saying.
Man, Justin. I love Justin.
Yes. I love Justin Parsley, and we love Justin Parsley, and he does have a YouTube channel. Before I plug Justin Parsley any further, and we get more of Anthony Steele, hit the IMF sub button here. Please go sub to the IMF. They are almost at 4,000 subscribers. Every subscriber counts, and you can be in touch with more of matches from Gabe Sayers and Omen Black and Anthony Steele and Soldier GP and Justin Parsley, Felix Jones, everybody else out there, even the Prophet Jordan Crowley's commentating. So all great stuff. Please support these great companies, and we will continue to get back to the chat. Yes, Gabe hit the sub button for his page. We got 20 plus people. Go sub to Gabe's football page. Everybody's a football fan.
Yeah.
This isn't like talking about lacrosse. This isn't like talking about tennis or ping pong. Most of you are football fans. Hit the sub button for Gabe's page. It helps him get monetized. So do that. Princess Jade, who, just in case you didn't know, is a big Justin Parsley fan, does say,
"Oh yeah, I met Princess Jade.
Yeah, I think everybody in IMF knows her, but he talks about what he knows, the forgotten. Okay. Hello to Justin Parsley. Go Cowboys. I don't know if it's going to be their year, but hey, what do I know? Hello to the DHC and the House of Wolves. Gabe Sayers is humble. Dakota is here. Thank you, Dakota. Shot in the Dark was a great Ozzy song, but I do appreciate that we're in the bright lights on the biggest stage, and thank you very much for tuning in and listening, because if we were in the dark, you wouldn't be watching. So thank you very much. Do an episode about Jimmy Wang Yang.
I think that's when we're talking about the forgotten SmackDown stars for the new channel.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. You know what? Big Vito is a big topic on X. You could do him too, because ask Bret Hart about him. And by the way, Big Vito, where he was from, he was like 10 blocks from my house. Big Vito, I heard a lot about growing up. He was on, he lived on like 69th Street and like 18th Avenue. So I knew about Big Vito. Thank you, Dakota, for subbing, and thank you, Justin, for sharing. Dear brother, should I set his fate now or later? Great candy, by the way.
Yeah, right. The only fate she's setting is what we're gonna do in the bedroom. So she could yap it up, chat it up.
No comment on that. That's Justin Parsley's YouTube channel. You can talk about that there. Hello to Justin Parsley. And I gotta say, this man I'm excited about, because his new company he's a part of, ACW, they're gonna be here next Thursday night. A man you know very well, Mr. Mickey Vargas, and what do you want to say to Mickey? Mickey's he's traveled literally. He's traveled now on the other side of the country. He's in the Lone Star State. And what a small world. He now knows one of my regulars on here, Joey Knight Jr.
Mickey
Vargas, by the way. Yeah, Mickey Vargas, the one and only Mickey Vargas.
We were very
no longer unwanted. Just saying, he's more than wanted now.
We were very different wrestlers when we met a little while ago in that good old Buffalo, New York. And
yes.
Mickey, I heard you ran off to Texas because you couldn't make a scene out of upstate New York.
I disagree with that. Look at that guy. You heard of him?
Yeah, I've heard of Masada before.
You heard of him?
Yeah, I mean, I could take a picture with any of the stars that I'm wrestling on the same show as in the locker room, but unless I'm wrestling them, I mean, frankly, I mean, I could tell the story about how when I was at Smash Master Wrestling, Nick Gage sat down and had a 25-minute conversation with me, and I was wrestling on the same card as Nick Gage. But I didn't take a picture with Nick Gage. Why? Because I didn't wrestle Nick Gage.
You just told us now that you had that conversation. Thank you for letting us know. We appreciate that.
It was a good conversation. You gave me good advice. Oh, Nick Gage's dog, by the way, so cute, so sweet. Oh, what a great dog. But you know what, Mickey? I'll make it easy for you because I extended you the invite to Connecticut and to TF Crew, and you ended up pulling out of the booking in the event. So, Mickey, I'll make this easier for you. Maybe I'll go down to Texas, and maybe I'll represent a new brand that I've debuted for in X Brand Wrestling. And maybe I'll go down to Texas and go somewhere that you may find familiar and show you, because listen, you're a play deathmatch wrestler. You know, when you couldn't get any bookings for regular wrestling, what did you do? You fell back on deathmatch wrestling because you weren't good enough. Well, frankly, Mickey, I'm good enough and I'm better for both. So we could do this regular, we could do this death, we could do hardcore, softcore, anything you want, Mickey, because I know that I'm better than you. So whether it's in Texas, Connecticut, Jersey, I don't care when. I just care where, because I am going to find the time to, let's just say, humble you in your little deathmatch beginnings before it even starts.
Well, I know that Mickey Vargas is going to definitely disagree with that. No, I got to mention that Torrance Banks is from his state, and he wants to be on the TF Crew shows. Maybe Torrance Banks can replace Mickey Vargas in case he can't come down from Texas to Connecticut. Just saying. I had to throw that in because Torrance did want me to mention that in your next appearance on Sportswire. So who knows? Baseball, I mean, I love baseball too. So who knows? Can we forget? That's a good one, actually. That's a clever one. Can we forget about Aaron Hernandez? Yeah, we can forget about him. We can do that. Yeah, we can do that.
Aaron.
And then and how about we can forget about Ray Caruth also? You'd probably remember that name, Ray Caruth, forgotten football names. He was with the Carolina Panthers, and then he was supposed to have been something. And well, yeah, look it up. Probably Law and Order did an episode on that. Hello to Mickey. Mickey will be a big topic, I'm sure, tomorrow with Jay the Awesome. And check your spelling. And or do we have to hang in a little longer? Well, I have no idea. We have a lot of comments tonight, so I have no idea. Thank you, Dakota, for being here. We did plug you on YouTube. And yeah, RG3, he had the great rookie year. Yeah, he had a great rookie year. He might be now more known for battling Ryan Clark on X, but who knows? Doc Holliday is definitely top tier. I want to be talking about him right when we get to the chat, because right after the chat, we're going right in to TF Crew. So I'm very excited about that.
I love Doc.
Yes, check the spell. That's the spelling we want to check for. Okay, yes, please spell everybody's name. And obviously, Bren would like to talk about James Taylor trampoline wrestling, but we're not going to do that on here. But he is not a fan of yours, which is
I think Bren deep down likes me. I think Bren deep down actually likes me. But I think me and Bren have that like little silly sibling relationship where we just like to josh each other. I think Bren deep down likes me, and I think I deep down like Bren. You know what I mean?
So you think you're going to grow on him as NEW undisputed champion?
No, probably not
all the way though. Okay,
I don't think he'll ever say a nice thing about me, but I think deep down he likes me a little.
Well, I mean, to take a James Taylor phrase and put it out there, never say never.
Never say never.
Well, in this case, it worked. James is here Sunday night, so don't get any ideas, anybody. He's on Sportswire. But yeah, we love everyone. Do hit the sub button for GTS. And shout outs to Billy, shout outs to Connor, shout outs to Jimmy. By the way, gotta give Jimmy Controversy a big plug. He actually put in a nice word for me about Mickey Knuckles coming to Sportswire. I do like to give Jimmy actually a nice little nod to the head there.
And Controversion can do it sometimes when he wants to.
He did. He said to Mickey Knuckles that I'm well respected, and I appreciate that. Thank you to my buddy Eddie Pizzo. He subbed and he said likes the page. There you go. How dare you disrespect the house? You will suffer the wrath. You don't want to deal with what Anthony has dealt with, and Justin Parsley, and Soldier GP, Il Drago. You were there in the IMF. I mean, if you disrespect him that much, maybe you won't come back. Maybe you'll just stay in the Northeast. I mean, that's what he's telling you in a sense.
Yeah, we'll see. Then disrespect their house. I'm not Drago. I'm not any of these guys. I'm Gabe Sayers.
Oh, that's true. And because of that, his fate has been set. And
is that fate looking like a date? Because I think so, Katie. I can't wait.
I'm gonna plead the fifth now because I just did this past weekend a course on it was HIPAA laws and then sexual harassment in legal terms. So I'm gonna say if you want to do that on here, you can do that. We're gonna stay away above the fray on that. But Eddie
Nice.
subbed to both your pages, thank you. And
Good.
we answered the bracelet question,
Of course
and
I do.
he didn't nearly spoke the truth. And backhanded compliments will never change your fate, Gabe. Hello to Cameron. Hello to Pro Wrestling Foot Stomp, by the way.
Woo!
17,000 followers nearly on Instagram. Hello, hello.
They're
And
they're they're super
shout out.
dope. Pro Wrestling Foot Stomp, super
I
dope.
gotta give the plug. Thank you for doing that. Before I get to, I have some things for you. I have some gifts for you, but
Oh,
I do got to give Pro
yes.
Wrestling Foot
I
Stop
like
a
it.
big shout out because they got a lot of followers and people like
Appreciate
the content. They like the content. I like the content, and I'd like it more if you gave them a follow because I got like 20 something people here tonight. So thank you for being here. Yeah, thank you,
it.
Jason Storm. Thank you, Jason Storm, for giving us the residuals. Jason Storm definitely knows how to pack a party. No, we're kidding, Gabe. You definitely got the people here too. But obviously Jason, woke people. Maybe no, we don't know. Who knows? But hit the follow button for Pro Wrestling Stomp on Instagram. Want to say hello to my buddy Colton Lee from DBW and some other places and the Heartless. By the way, he is a Commanders fan, so he actually appreciated some of your talk on the football there. So Colton's a big sports fan, very big buddy of mine. And I can't wait till you have as many pins and your head as you do on that wall. That's some serious words there.
You gotta catch me first, buddy. You gotta catch me first.
Wow. That's we'll leave that at that. Hello to the DHC and the Wolves. And got some interesting. Yeah, let's definitely talk about that on the air. And DBW is right around the corner. And also, I love his intros. We wouldn't be on Sportswire without the longest intro ever, but we come for the intro. Well, I maybe.
Hell
I
yeah.
mean, Rhino liked it, by the way. Rhino did say he wanted to run through a wall after it. Savio Vega was like, wow. He even said off the air, wow. He's like, you do that every day? I'm like, yeah, my mom sings. And if I don't do it, it's almost like I'm almost going half-assed. And I had LA Guns frontman Phil Lewis was kind of looking at me like, let's go already. He was probably the one that didn't like it that much. But I had Mark Farner of Grand Funk Railroad who played at Woodstock. The first one was like, boy, he was like, that was groovy. Probably would have smoked a joint afterwards. But
Right? Listen,
yeah,
Tom,
24 people on the live. Well,
yeah,
no,
look at us.
it's the
We're
people's
putting
show.
numbers out here,
It's the
Tom.
people's show. The people have tuned in tonight. We thank the people for tuning in. They want to be here.
We're
They
doing
wanna
some numbers, Tom.
well, you brought them. You and Jason brought them in.
Stop giving
Yeah.
that bald egg.
I think JV Awesome is going to bring some people tomorrow night because JV Awesome, he knows a lot of people. He's going to bring some people that haven't been. And Jake's here Wednesday with an announcement. Jake has got a big announcement. I'm telling you, his announcement's going to be bigger than when Anthony Steele comes on Sportswire. Going to be bigger than Omen Black or James Taylor or Aaron Blaze. It's going to be big. I'm telling you, I'm excited about it. It's going to be one of the biggest announcements. Please follow the EWA. They're here Thursday night with their champion. I don't quote movies. I don't need to plagiarize material. Does this
guy have a job? Does he do anything? Like, my God.
Well, he does the commentary for the IMF shows. I don't know what the pay is like for that. Hello there. We would like to say hello to those out there at the IMF.
Yo, Karen's my goat right there. Karen actually repaired my kickpad.
Oh, very nice. Well, shout out to Karen, by the way. We love Karen, and we love everybody out there in Palo. I spent 8 years in the Army. You reject. I do more by 6 a.m. than you do all day. Well, we thank you for your service. We don't need to go out there and, attack.
I do appreciate your service, though. I do appreciate your service.
And also, we know that also Gabe family is out there from certainly Karen. The whole family is out there from the good people that you might have lived with. So they are definitely saying hello. They are saying hello. If I could, one especially that you were close to. You played a lot of football, I understand, with some of them. You played a lot of Madden with some of the family, and you almost wore your welcome out there. No, I'm kidding. I threw that in there. They told me though that they were all saying hello. The family. They
like I had to teach these kids what Madden is. These kids were getting dogged by me. Oh man, I didn't know that. I mean, I get it. There's not a lot to do in Iowa, but man, it was like every time.
No, we love Iowa. First of all, We love Iowa.
I was like, look behind me. I was, oh shit, there's another kid, and then I'd have to beat him in Madden too, and it's just another one and another one and another
I
one.
may get Slipknot on Sportswire someday, so we want to say hello to Iowa. We love Iowa. Slipknot. I actually do believe that I'm going to get the even bigger band. So Slipknot, shout out to Slipknot. But we'll find a way. And there you go. Jade would like to say hello. There you go. See, the family is, I told you, it's a family affair. I have a dream match coming up. That's a good one. You know, Sammy Nothing is a guy. He's been around a number of different places. He was going to be coming up here wrestling in Best in the Yard VTW. He's the DBW World Extreme Champion. Really fascinating guy like you. Different backgrounds, plays in a band. Been very impressive. Won a penitentiary match. Guys like Mr. Judgment was in there. Silas Walker. He's been a really impressive guy. He's been out there, done a lot of things. And, you know, that could be a guy you could wrestle. Who knows? That's a great match. I'll give Colton your info when we're off the air. I'll make sure of that. And I heard from Soldier is a big Eagles fan. Now he's obviously wanting to remind you of what happened in the NFC Championship game. He wanted me specifically to tell you about that and just to remind you that the Commanders still haven't won a Super Bowl since '91.
Soldier is like a big brother I never asked for, and I appreciate him. That emphasis on the never asked for. And you know what? You just wait. Let's see what the Eagles do this season. Let's see what the Eagles do this
Super Bowl
season.
Champions, though.
It's a new season, though. They ain't champions now. They were champions.
I think most of America, you know, I'm gonna partially take Soldier's side on this one. I think most of America was rooting for the Eagles against the Chiefs last year. Just saying. I think most of America was. I mean,
not me.
You know, you were rooting. So you were rooting for Taylor and Travis then.
Yep. Yes, I was. I would have actually liked to see the Chiefs win the Super Bowl and then Taylor and Travis make love at the 50-yard line. That's what I was hoping for.
Well, what was the rumor that if he won the Super Bowl, they were to get married or something? Who knows? I don't even get into it. You know,
yep.
Well, who knows? If you watch their podcast, it's all everybody's timelines. Who knows? Thank yous from Soldier, and we do miss you. See, the family misses you that you lived with. I think you kind of know who this is. If I could shout them out, if the manager, the big boss wants me to, but you did live somewhere with some of the. I did mention Madden, so they know. So you know they miss you. They miss you in Iowa. That's why you should be saying all the great things about Iowa. Great things to do, and that big show. All the people were there, and the fans. Iowa's a great place. I love Iowa. By the way,
I like the people. I got to. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go out to Iowa. And I'm gonna start a business, and it's gonna be anything halfway entertaining. And I'm gonna have everybody and their mother come out there because it's like, oh my god, we could stop fucking each other and actually do something fun for a change. It's gonna be great.
The beat button goes out for that because we certainly think in Iowa they do a lot more things than that. Seth Rollins came from Iowa too. Mickey's here for that. I just want to put this out. This is her words, and the only shit. So is your deathbed.
Oh, so you're gonna see me in a bed, Miss Katie? All right, shit. You're speaking my language now. I didn't realize you were
let's do
like
it.
me, but okay.
And Mickey, he takes you up on that.
Oh, I'll become the Heartstopper. All right, yeah, let's see it. I mean, listen, whose heart's gonna stop first? Yours from obesity or mine from heart disease? We'll find out, Mickey. We can do that. We can play that game if you want.
I am going to refrain from that. I am most certainly refraining from that comment, but I am going to put this up from Ox and then give us a nice little plug because this comment will certainly be one on Justin Parsley's next Circle of Jerks episode because they will talk about underappreciated Aaron Hernandez hanging jokes by Omen Black. You can talk about Ray Caruth there. You can talk about the Plaxico Burris gun incident in a nightclub. Those are things exactly. Maybe you want to bring up Mark Gastineau's past life. Maybe Lawrence Taylor, how many times he's been in and out of prison. And you can bring up all that on the Justin Parsley Circle of Jerks episodes that'll be coming to a Justin Parsley YouTube channel near you. I'm sure they'll have plenty of Travis and Taylor references on there. Maybe Justin has them lined up already. So hit the sub button for Justin's page. He's got 20 people on YouTube now. He's got 110 subs. So if you haven't yet sub to his page because you can see those underrated jokes on there, not on Sportswire. Just saying. So you have a lot of comments, and boy, you might be here all night. But
shit, Tom's what we got to do is what we got to do. I'm here. Tom.
I don't mind, but no, we definitely know the truth, and we will say that this is the truth. That you have been missed on Sportswire, and you were missed in Iowa. And I think the good people that you lived with, the great people that you lived with, would probably agree. Probably brought out by the foundation to spin more lies.
Oh my
And
god.
Dakota's going to leave us. And thank you, Dakota. Hit the sub button for Dakota on her YouTube channel. And also, this is Jade, and she wants to say that her computer has died, and we're sorry about that. And she's very happy to be here, and she knows everybody in the IMF. She's obviously, can we say it's Soldier's niece? It's a Soldier's niece, and she's a big Justin Parsley fan, and she is at every show. And she used to not like Anthony Steele, but now she likes Anthony Steele, and she's not a big Omen Black fan, but she's still a big Felix Jones fan. Yes, you can do all that, and hit the sub button for Dakota while you're at it too before she leaves. But hit that, and who else we got before I can give you a few? I see you still got more comments. There you go.
What can I say, Tom? I'll keep you here all night, Tom.
I got nowhere to go. Not until I get my tooth implant surgery. Then maybe, Gabe, you can take over. You can get all the monetization from Sportswire, because if the tooth implant surgery goes wrong, you can have Sportswire. And, I'm sure the ratings will go up. Gabe, what match or wrestler made you fall in love with wrestling? I'm going to let this one go for CBW.
I'll go both. I'll do match and wrestler. I won't do just one. I'm fun. I like the wrestler, Terry Funk. I always liked wrestling, and then when I watched Terry Funk, I loved wrestling. Terry Funk opened up that, just his plethora of work from his early work. It's just a pure classic wrestler, feud with Ric Flair, to all the way to being middle-aged and crazy, taking crazy stunts in ECW in the year 2005. I love Terry Funk. The IWA Kawasaki King of the Death Match 1995 tournament and finals against Cactus Jack.
Wow,
from Kawasaki Stadium is one of my favorite.
I think Tommy Dreamer mentioned that on his podcast. I caught that one. That was a reference not too long ago. I did hear about that one.
It's my favorite match of all time, death match wise, and made me fall in love with ultra-violent professional wrestling. Everything, the selling, the atmosphere, the vibe of it. That was beautiful. What match made me fall in love with wrestling? Obviously, that one for deathmatch wrestling. That's a double-headed answer right there, Terry Funk. I think another match that really made me truthfully fall in love with wrestling, I would say, it's gonna be a weird one, right? I love that Falls Count Anywhere match between Umaga and Jeff Hardy.
A lot of people. That was a great match. No.
I love
Umaga
that.
had a great run. I mean, God rest his soul. He had a great run there for a little while.
I can't agree more, and I love Jeff Hardy. And everybody, I feel like Jeff Hardy kind of gets overlooked in a way. I know you're like, how could Jeff Hardy be overlooked? He's so popular. He's so amazing. That people are like, oh, he's really cool. He does all the dives and takes all these risks. But people don't realize Jeff Hardy was a really fucking good seller. Man, Jeff Hardy could make anything look like a million fucking.
His match with Undertaker on Raw all those years ago.
Yep.
I mean, look at that. The stuff, the things he did. Even with CM Punk before he left, and I mean, he had a lot of Jeff Hardy. I mean, listen, he's Jeff Hardy, but I know what you're saying, because he also had some issues outside the ring that he could have been even more, I think, on a Mount Rushmore. Unfortunately, he had a lot of problems outside the ring. So I understand what you're saying in a sense. I understand it.
Absolutely.
But great stuff. And follow Pro Wrestling Footstep on Instagram, and appreciate it. Yep, always love popping in. Since I know who it is, and thank you. I know who you are. Don't worry, I'll keep you anonymous. But we'll leave that at that. Pulling back the curtain a little, but you get Omen, Gabe, and Parsley together, you're going to hear nothing but great jokes and bits, which is why that's a Circle of Jerks episode. That's a great circle. You can do that on Justin's page. I'm actually endorsing that. I don't know if I can do that here on Sportswire, but please hit the sub button for Justin, and I'm sure you'll get together with yourself and Omen. I'm sure Anthony will pop in, and you'll have a Circle of Jerks episode like you've never had before, and that's a good one. My brain ceases to function when they combine their powers. If a storm cloud forms above that trio, some have said they've seen the face of God. There you go. Obviously, the whole monitor, my Hall of Fame monitor, clearly knows how to promote. Big facts, modern day stooges. And Gabe is right. That's all we do. Great Circle of Jerks episode.
That's not what he's talking about doing there, Tom. But
you know what?
There we go.
Well, I'm going to do it in a nicer term. Ice Cube has a song, We Be Clubbing. You guys can be clubbing. How about that? But hit the sub button for Justin. Okay, I think I've got everybody. All right, I want to give you a couple things. I want to talk TF Crew for the remaining time, because I want to plug the show. A lot I want to get off my chest. It's been a minute since I got a chance to talk about TF Crew. First of all, congratulations. You get a prize for getting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. You got that. It's been a minute. You just reached 1,000 subs. I got to give you. By the way, it's achievement now. I changed the words because my contemporaries in the political world do this, and I saw they do achievement. So that's number one.
Okay, cool.
Secondly, you're in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame again for being the Heartstopper. You won the NEW Undisputed Championship, and I had to come up with a way to put you in the Hall of Fame again. So I thought that this would be a good gift, and you brought me a lot of views tonight, so I'm giving you a gift. I'm giving you multiple gifts. So yeah, I'm giving you gifts. But Jay the Awesome's getting a gift tomorrow too, just in case you didn't know. Jason didn't get a gift yesterday because, well, Jason said some things that, well, I'm just letting Jason basically defend on those. But we'll leave that at that. But okay, you've got that. I'll give you the physical copies when we're off the air. I want to talk about it for the remaining time, and I'm very excited about it because we have a Day of Atonement coming up. We're at a new venue. We've got it coming up less than 3 weeks from now. Let's put the Eventbrite link up here first, and let's talk about it because really this has been about almost 8 months in the making. Obviously, the main event with Rad Dad and Angel Santiago. Angel Santiago will be coming on Sportswire Radio here within the next week. We have a lot to talk about with him. Rad was here a couple of months ago, but let's talk about what we can expect here coming up at Day of Atonement.
Day of Atonement. I mean, what a just crazy, crazy event that we have planned. I am so unbelievably excited and nervous at the same time for the event. Like most people would be running an event like this. I think Day of Atonement is like one of those like super, super loaded cards. It's got a little bit of everything on it, and that's what I think.
Doc Holiday and LJ Walsh. That boy, my goodness, I'm really fascinated with that match. Then you've got, Jake's going to talk about it when he is Wednesday. You got Leonidas and Castor. He's here Friday to talk about it. You got, like you said, this is one of the most loaded cards I've ever seen.
I think that was what we were aiming for with the TF crew on this card specifically. Was we were like, we need to load up this card. We put together some great events, but I feel like this was a great opportunity for us to really kind of just blow the roof off this place. New venue. We're now in Bristol, Connecticut.
I know Bristol very well. I've been to Bristol. And ESPN's in Bristol, just saying.
Yep. It's way bigger venue, way nicer venue, and this was our time to really blow the roof off this place, to be honest. I think that we're now given truly a great opportunity to really almost have a little bit of a reset. It's not like TF Crew's ever done anything terrible or had any terrible moments, but this is a really great opportunity for us to go out and show what the underground is all about. Bringing in indie guys, underground guys, people we've trained ourselves, displaying this awesome talent. I mean, the main event being Puerto Rican Prince versus Rad Dad Rathy Belmont in 2 out of 3 falls match for the TF Crew World title is what an insane main event. I mean, these guys went to war at the Rumble, and now getting to run it back with that 2 out of 3 fall. I mean, it's cinema. I hate when people say it's cinema. At the end of the day, it's going to be fantastic. But even the other matches on this card, Castor versus Leonidas,
I can't wait to talk about that on Friday. Leonidas is a guy that, he has been one of those guys that he's not underrated, but sometimes he kind of gets under the radar in a sense. Then you've got Castor, who I think he is going to be in the big time. He looks like $1 million. He talks like $1 million. He wrestles almost like he's $1 million. I'm really excited about that match.
Me too. I think that is just a great way for them to wrap up the storied moments that they've had with each other so far, including Leonidas throwing Castor out of the ring during his promo at the beginning of the Unhinged Rumble. But there's more. That's the best part. There's more, Tom.
I know, but you know what? I got it right in front of me. How about this?
How about this? Go to the
you and Mikey. How about this?
Go to the post is a little further down of that one because that one gets cut off unfortunately because of the other graphic. So go to it's like a little I think with us. There we go. Now I see the full graphic.
I know I saw that.
Yeah, we saw Louis Jr. yapping it up as Louis Jr. would, and then of course me yapping it up like I do. Yeah, I love to yap it up. I think that this is actually going to be one of the craziest matches of my life. Obviously, me and Mikey had a successful tag team encounter last show where we defeated Jake Dvorak and Jeff Nova. And now we want to up the ante a little bit. Obviously, Jake Dvorak and Jeff Nova are insanely great talent and wicked wrestlers. But now we want to face a traditional tag team. So we called out one of the best tag teams that we could find that wanted to get violent. And Louis Jr. likes to get violent, and he can bring his little bitch or not. That's 100% on him. But Louis Jr. and Louis Sr., the low life Louis Ramos, the GCW Deathmatch Hall of Fame,
for sure.
Yeah, GCW Deathmatch Hall of Fame member of 2023. Low life Louis Ramos and his son Low life Louis Jr. coming to Connecticut, probably for the last time of Low Life's career, frankly, is huge. It's absolutely huge. Low Life Louis has had an insane and just a beautiful career, and to bring him back to Connecticut one more time, I think is special. It is just special to say the least. So to be able to put on this tag match where fucking Iron is going to go against Iron is just it's a recipe for just a beautiful, chaotic, violent match.
I mean, an amazing match. You've been in some really big matches, some big places, but I mean, how are you going to prepare for this? It's a tornado tag match. How are you preparing for this?
To begin preparing for a match like this against the caliber of wrestlers that we're going to be going against is simply it's every day, train every day like it's my last. I have to I'm taking this ultra seriously because I know the things that Low Life Louis has done in his career, and obviously he's just inspired and put all of that training and all that experience into his son here, Junior. And I know that I have to go out there, and I also have to prove something that, yes, I talk about it all the time that I'm more than just a hardcore wrestler. I talk about it all the time that I'm more than just a deathmatch wrestler. But when it gets down and violent, nitty-gritty, true violence, that's where I also thrive.
But that's how you were born into this. Remember years ago on Twitch, you're back and forth with Mikey, your history, really? I mean, yes, we've seen you do different things, but that's who you are deep down.
I agree, and I think this isn't going to just be light tube fets. This isn't going to just be us swinging 1,000 light tubes at each other. There's nothing to the match, and it's just nitty-gritty bullshit fuckery. We're like, oh, what's the stupidest thing? No. We're going to go out there, and we're going to have a fight. Classic, old-school death match. Violence personified. We have a mission when we go out there, and it's a mission to bring back ultra-violent, true professional wrestling to Connecticut.
I mean, literally, this is going to be a banger of a match. When you're talking about to be in the same ring with a legend, I mean, this show is just unbelievable. And I'll come back to that, but I want to talk about Doc Holliday. I mean, because we spoke a lot about him with Jake. Jake's going to have his side of the story once again on Wednesday. But LJ Walsh is another guy. I mean, I've seen him around in different places. And I mean, what do you think here between Mr. Walsh and Holliday?
I really like putting this match together because Wash has just been getting under Doc's skin. You see some of the most recent episodes of Unhinged as Doc is having this crazy open challenge against Caster. There's LJ Wash on the side, barking at Caster, barking at Doc, cutting promos against Doc. And, Doc has a lot of challengers for this Tomorrow's End title. A guy like Angel Morningstar from LTW, who's super underrated, definitely has an opportunity coming up for the Tomorrow's End title as well. But Doc Holliday has an extremely big challenger ahead of him now, and he can't look ahead to someone like Angel Morningstar or even someone like Hardcore, who still does have a shot at tomorrow's title. He's got LJ Wash in front of him, and LJ Wash has been just on the rise, rapping, making videos, debuting in new big wrestling companies. LJ Wash is proving.
And you've been in some videos with him too, just saying on your page. You've been in some videos with him.
He's more than just a rapper, though, and he's more than just a content creator. And
another guy listening, the guy's oozing with charisma. Guy's got a great look. Guy's one of these guys that definition of the prime time.
I agree. And that's what TF Crew is all about, man. Charisma, big characters. And that's exactly what LJ is. So if Doc is able to escape with his title, and that's going to be, I'm excited to see him versus Angel or him versus Hardcore. But let's think for a second. If LJ Wash wins this title, LJ Wash versus Angel Morningstar, LJ Wash having to go to the Hardcore side to face Hardcore.
Oh, man.
Yeah, right?
Total opposites. Him and Hardcore?
Whew. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? There's a lot of beautiful possibilities coming up.
Doc and Hardcore, they have a history. I think people, you can go two ways. Doc and Hardcore, because of their history, their extensive history, I think people would naturally want to see that. Then you've got Angel and Doc, that there's some recent history there. And then, conversely, like you said, LJ and Hardcore, two polar opposites. People always love to see what that would be like when two people of two different ends go out there and wrestle. I mean, again, we only got 20 minutes. Only 20 minutes here coming up. And that's another reason why we should be excited about that. I want to come back to that. We got that. I also want to talk about the match that Jake is going to be talking plenty about on Wednesday. And, here we go. Open Death, Stephen Havoc, a guy that I know Stephen Havoc for quite a while. I know him when he was wrestling in a company called RWA. I never forget that. And some of his brothers and other places in the 716 and the 518 can attest to. And then Jake, we got B Insane, who we just talked about quite a bit at the beginning of the show. Then, Jimmy Controversy, by the way, who's now with the Syndicate. I mean, what do you think happens here in this Open Death Invitational? I mean, this is another match that could be a main event anywhere else.
That's what I love about Open Death, man. Open Death last year was supposed to be Charlie Bonifer, who unfortunately day of the show was unable to compete. But Chris Jackson versus Hardcore versus Jimmy Controversy was our first ever Open Death, and what a banger. What a banger they had. And Open Death is all about bringing guys that deserve more opportunity, the spotlight to have said opportunity. So taking someone like Jake Dvorak, who's just debuted in X Brand, has had such violent matches with literally me in NEW and so many others in NEW, and giving Jake Dvorak this opportunity now to go and earn his stripe. I am not going to announce what the winner of Open Death is going to receive, but I am happy to announce that the winner of Open Death is getting a hefty prize. Hardcore last year was qualified himself for a Tomorrow's End title match, which he still does have that opportunity. Injury does not ruin that opportunity for him. The winner this year, though, has something that I would call equally as interesting as a shot at the Tomorrow's End belt. So taking someone like Havoc, also debuted in X Brand, an OG to the scene, giving him an opportunity to get violent. Taking someone like B Insane, who's not a traditional ultra-violent wrestler, an opportunity to, mark out here and get his stripes is definitely a very fascinating thing, especially this power advantage that he has.
I was going to say the same thing. When I look at B Insane, I know he's not in the same wheelhouse as certainly Controversy, Havoc, or Dvorak, but with his size, his strength, he's got that brute force that's going to serve him, I think, really well in this match.
I think that also brings him an advantage, the fact that he's not a deathmatch wrestler. I think that's something that people don't talk about, is that B Insane not being a deathmatch wrestler is going to be aiming for violent holds, big slams, violent ways to smash his opponents through the ring and through other fuckery, frankly.
And his history with Dvorak. He knows Dvorak better than anybody in the back of his hand. He knows Havoc. I mean, he's certainly been in a locker room with Havoc. And Controversy, he's been watching for the better part of a decade. So, I mean, B Insane is going to be scouting or has already scouted his opponents. And, maybe he's the wild card in this matchup.
I think so. And obviously, Jimmy Controversy's deathmatch pedigree cannot be talked about enough.
Yes,
CZW, Deep South, Seven Wrestling. I mean, Jimmy's been everywhere bleeding violently. So.
And he's wrestled the holy grail of the names. I mean, don't ask Pitbull Gary Wolf about him. Just kidding to everybody. But not kidding, but don't bring it up to Pitbull Gary Wolf. But, he's wrestled Tommy Dreamer. He's wrestled, the very biggest names that we've ever seen. And Jimmy's been in there, and Jimmy wants gold. Jimmy wants something. He's always around, and maybe this is the match he feels like he can assert himself over his opponents. I don't know.
I agree. I think Jimmy's the odds-on favorite, but I think
experience-wise, he's got the edge. He's been in the big money matches, so he would have the edge.
Absolutely. I think he's the odds-on favorite, but I think B Insane is the
he's a wild card to me because he's got the sheer strength. He's got kind of the ability he's a student of the game. He scouted his opponents. Dvorak, he knows like the back of his hand. He knows Havoc. He's been in a locker room with him. But you can all make a case for them. Havoc's the guy that comes in and has a moment. You brought up Jeff Hardy earlier. Havoc's almost like the Jeff Hardy of the deathmatch scene. He comes in and you never know with him. Ask Shockey. He's the guy that maybe made Shockey turn into all what Shockey's doing now. He's the guy that will do anything. He's just, to me, like a Jeff Hardy right now in our scene. Dvorak right now is just on a run where he's put himself in underground wrestling as a generational guy in just the last year. He was there, but now look at what he's done. Look at where he's gone in a short amount of time. He's a guy that's got a lot of momentum. He might have the most momentum in this matchup. And that's why, even though, yeah, Jimmy's the favorite because Jimmy's got, of course, the most big match experience of anybody, but you could make a case for all four of them. Jake with momentum, Havoc with his Jeff Hardy-like spots, Be Insane with his sheer strength, and then you've got Jimmy with just the experience. All four of them could win this.
I agree. I think that's the beauty of Open Death. This is anybody's game. It's a death match, man. Anything can happen, and I think all four of these guys are just going to go absolutely out there and just beat the shit out of each other. And also, we've talked about 5 matches so far. There are 2 more matches on this card that I have not announced yet, and I'm not going to just spoil them. I can't just spoil the matches, but what I can do is just give you a little bit of insight onto some of the talent that's going to be in the match.
All right, that's interesting. We'll take
the Murder will be, in fact, they defending their TF Crew Tag Team Championships and going to be showing off something very new and very pretty in the TF Crew Tag Team Title Division.
Oh, okay.
We're going to have guys like Christopher Black in action.
Oh, I love Christopher Black. I'm talking
Jeremy
a lot about him
LaCroix.
and Master, because they teamed together in Massachusetts. I can't wait to talk about that.
Jeremy LaCroix will be in action.
Okay. Yep.
I have some returning blood to the TF Crew also coming, but I also have some new blood in the TF Crew coming. And it's something that's been teased on GTS, and it's a very Italian team.
Okay. Yeah. I got the reference.
If you know what I mean. So
I got the reference. This came up on a prior episode. I think it was meant. All right, I'm not going to say anything, but I think I had on the EBW Pro promoter. I don't know if you know Gus, but he booked. I think we're gonna say nothing further because I got the reference. I got it. This was mentioned on an episode. I don't think anybody saw on Sportswire, but we had the EBW Pro owner in Glock Cluster. Yeah, they had him on like 2 months ago. Yeah, people, if you blinked, you wouldn't have saw, but it was like one of those things. But yeah, we'll talk about that for sure. I mean, so we got 2 matches that we are gonna find out. And we're going to see them coming up on September 7th. Also, I know it's a long, but that's the Eventbrite link. I'm going to put up also back the Eventbrite page because I do want to talk a lot about the main event for a few minutes because Rad was here. Angel's going to come back on. He's back on here between now and the next week, possibly this Thursday. But I do want to bring up here that this is a match that I really am eagerly anticipating. Rad had a lot to say about it. When he was here, right after, I think on Memorial Day, Rad was here. Rad was here on Memorial Day. We spoke about it then, and we spoke about the chase, but it's finally here. And I just, to me, think this is going to be one of those matches that we're going to really remember for a very long time. Obviously, the GBYWN champion. We know recently, up until Sucker Slam, he was the GTS Intercontinental champion. We know what Angel has done as the TF Crew YouTube champion. Angel's body of work, I mean, as champion, it's been, I mean, it's, to steal a GTS phrase, legendary. It's been legendary, and it's going to finally come to a head here. And I mean, who knows just how good of a match this is until we see it on September 7th between Angel and Rad Dad.
I can't agree more. I truly can't agree more. I think that all of these guys involved have the capabilities of putting on a main event match. So getting so many of these talented guys from all over the scene on this next TF Crew show, I mean, and just having the experience of a Rad Dad in the locker room is just, it's such a blessing.
You got Doc, by the way. Doc's in the locker room. Jimmy's in the locker room. I mean, you got some big...
Man, Jimmy's stupid, though. Don't even give...
I know, but he did give me a plug for Mickey Knuckles. I can't...
No. I mean,
I know you're going to say that, but I can't... You know me. I'm trying not to... I want to be everybody on the same team. Jimmy did praise me, and I can't let... I can't say he didn't. He did.
Speaking of team, I mean, this has nothing to do with team, of course, but I just needed a nice segue. Tom, I'm going to be in New York City a lot more. We're going to have to sit down for like lunch or something coming up.
All right, so let's talk about that for a minute because I'm going to buy a ticket here later this week. When are you coming back to New York City? Because I met your family. I have to put the picture back up on Instagram to remind people. I even told you sure you want to meet me? I'm sick as a dog that day. You're like, no, I'm okay. But so when are you coming back to New York City?
I'm going to be in New York City every week for the foreseeable future now. So we'll definitely have to sit down and catch a little lunch.
Are you coming this week?
I'll be there next week, actually. I'm going to be there Wednesday, actually. I'm starting a job in New York City.
You work in New York City? We've got a long... What are you taking, Metro North?
Yeah, a little train over to Manhattan. A fun fact, I wish Kuma was in this right now. Kuma left his scooter at my house, and I think I'm going to take his scooter to New York City and ride it around to get to work.
You could do that. People in Manhattan do that. They do it a little more in the outer boroughs. But, so You're here. What time are you here Wednesday? You here Wednesday?
I'm early in the morning all the way until 5 p.m.
All right, so
I'm
maybe
gonna
I'll
be in
meet.
an office.
All right, maybe I'll meet you in the city Wednesday. I'm here. I'm in Manhattan Monday next week. I'm here Tuesday next week. I'll probably be in Manhattan at least 3 to 4 times a week.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah,
I
all right.
should also be there Monday and Tuesday next week too. So,
There you
well,
go. Well,
get a little
I'll
lunch
be
or
seeing you more
something.
often. It's about time. Yeah, we'll buy you lunch. Yeah, I mean, wow, you're going to be in the city more often. It's about freaking time. Yeah, well,
Yeah, right.
praise the Lord. But okay, so that's great. Yeah, you saw the picture. Ox says that you would be. You're so dreamy that his wife is watching Sportswire. Well, Gabe, don't get any ideas. But
I got a lot of ideas, Tom. You know
well,
me. You
I
know
do know
me,
you
Tom.
personally. I'm going to be knowing you a lot more in the flesh and wound. But let's wrap up with TF Crew, because I really want to support and let people know about. You've got to go out there. First of all, it's on a Sunday. The doors open 2:30, and it's in Bristol. And I know Bristol very well, so Bristol's a good place to go and watch a wrestling show. And it's in the Lincoln Room, and I think I remember where the Lincoln Room was, because I do remember being in Bristol a few times. So I know where that is. Yes, ESPN, but I've been to Bristol, so I can picture that. And you're going to see a lot of great matches. You're going to see Angel Santiago and Ragnar. You're going to see LJ Wash and Doc Hardy. You're going to see the Open Death Invitation. You're going to see your match. And I want to go back to that before closing thoughts, because this is a big match. This is a match that you and Mikey have got a lot of history together. And I mean, what is in your mind right now to get you to win this match coming up here? What is without giving it away, how are you going to prepare for a death match legend, a man that's in a Hall of Fame? I know mine's great, but he's in the GCW Hall of Fame. And I mean, like, what's your plans?
I think that I have to go back to a classic way of thinking about wrestling. I think if I overthink this, the legend is just going to steamroll right through me and right through Mikey and make this a quick match. So I gotta get creative with this, but I gotta get classic with this. I gotta get down to his level. I think about it like this: the Louis are big guys, right?
They're very big, yes.
I'm big. I'm 6'2",
I met you in
190
person. You're
pounds.
not a short guy. No, listen.
No,
I remember meeting you. You were like my height. Were you 6 foot, 6'1"?
6'2", 6'2".
There you go. Yeah, you weren't like you weren't shorty. You weren't James Taylor. We love James, by the way, but just saying you weren't James.
I'm 6'2". I'm 190 pounds. I'm a big boy, but I have to, at the end of the day, use my speed, use my agility, use my technical ability, because both these guys are going to want to go out there and brawl. They want to go stab me with some forks and some other fuck
Because they
ass
know if they
objects.
wear you down, it makes their life easier with Mikey. I get that.
And so I know I need to go out there and I need to do what they don't want me to do, which is speed, technical wrestling, high flying wrestling. I have to use my body as, frankly, a battering ram, because I'm not some 5'4", 140-pound guy just like chucking myself like a cannonball at those guys. No, I'm a big boy. I'm a big boy. So if I hit you, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel that impact. So my strategy for this match is to bring it back to the basics, think more logically about wrestling, and think about how do I utilize my body type to outsmart and outwit both of these big boys, we'll call it.
And also, there's something else on the line. And that's the #1 contendership to those TF Crew Tag Team Championships, which that also really sweetens the pot of the importance of this match. I think that's something also that's at stake here. That's a big thing here.
Very, very, very big. The murder. Obviously, I know this is a very big motivator for Mikey after the murder choked out Mikey with that chain at the end of Death Row. This is a huge motivator for Mikey. Mikey's my best friend, so I'm going to do everything humanly possible in my power to make sure that we can have that shot at the murder, so we could take that shot at the murder and get a little bit of revenge for Mikey. But this is also really important to me because I love tag team wrestling, and I want to show that tag team wrestling is extremely important on the TF Crew. So being able to do something like that and be able to have a chance to take home those tag team straps against the murder, that's opportunity to make sure that everybody knows that tag team wrestling is insanely important and just one of the best tag divisions in the fucking underground scene.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you have not just that, but some of I think the very best wrestlers, period, in the underground circuit. I mean, TF Crew always excites me. I mean, we love what the IMF does. They do it every month, but what you guys do here in our area is always exciting to me, because when TF Crew does a show it's almost like an attraction. You guys don't do this every time. So the importance of supporting the TF crew goes without saying. Please support the TF crew. You can buy a ticket, the Eventbrite page. I'll have this up throughout when Castor is here. I'm going to have this up when Angel is here. So we're going to be plugging it. And we'll be plugging it when Jake is here on Wednesday, because Jake is going to be here. He'll talk a lot about his match. So we're going to be plugging this as much as possible. So at the very least, please go out there, support the TF crew. They also have a YouTube channel. Before we get to closing thoughts, please support the TF crew. I can't stress enough the importance of supporting the TF crew. And they're almost at 2,500 subs. Gabe, we've been plugging his YouTube channel. Support his other YouTube channel. Just keep getting him monetized. Don't worry about me. Worry about Gabe, because he's a struggling recent college graduate. He'll get to my level one day. And my uncle was, lived in Connecticut. That house, he got a lot of money from that house in Connecticut. You're not in that part of the state, so please support Gabe. I know where his area, so please support him. And I will try to ship you good pizza, but I will promise you that I'll be shipping as much support for the TF crew and the IMF and everybody else. But please support Gabe. And also, we're going to give Gabe this when we're off the air, because he got 1,000 subs. He's monetized. He's getting those YouTube checks rolling. They're definitely rolling. And
Yes,
to quote Weird Al, they're definitely filling the blanks. But all right, obviously, I've talked a lot with you. You definitely had quite a show tonight. But anything else you want to plug? Anything else you want to talk about that we haven't got a chance to discuss?
Now, this is a nice time to put this. It's a little quiet now in the chat. It's a little quiet here in Sportzwire.
Between Jason yesterday and you, I mean, I think they went. It was funny. We haven't had much of a chat the last several days, and then all of a sudden Jason yesterday, and then they had you, and it's not like they need a break. They got exhausted. It's gonna be like Rad and Angel in the ring. 60. They went 60 minutes basically. Rad and Angel might go 60 minutes on September 7th. I mean, listen.
I'm tired. I get it. I think it's a nice little time to drop this.
Okay.
And I'll make sure. Well, I'll try to make sure Jake Dvorak sees this. I'll send him this little part of the.
No, I'll do it for you. You don't have to do. I'll do the clip. I'll post the clip in the morning. You don't have to worry about that.
And I'm gonna do a formal announcement very soon with a graphic, a promo, and all the pretty shit that I'll do with my little content self.
Okay.
And Jake, sorry to jump your gun, because I know you're hyping up this big announcement Wednesday. On September 6th, the day before TF Crew Day of Atonement, I will be making my debut in Combat Zone Wrestling on the Tournament of Death show in the co-main event, Tarp of Death.
Well, wait. Let me get you. The CZW, the CZW,
the CZW.
That company.
That company. I will be making my debut there at the tournament, not in the Tournament of Death, but on the Tournament of Death show.
Whoa! I mean, I'm aware of CZW. I mean, that's a big deal. I mean, are you sure? Are you trying to pull a rib on us? Because some people thought yesterday's show was still a joke. Is this a joke? Are you trying to just say, yeah, see you the other day. So this is real. You're going to be at CZW September 6th. And last I checked, that's 2.5 weeks from now. That's a big deal.
Not only will I be at CZW at Tournament of Death competing, I'm not going alone, Tom.
You're going alone? Okay. All right.
I wouldn't go alone. It's scary down there. Who better to bring, Tom, than my tag team partner, Mikey Anarchy?
Whoa!
So we will be entering Tarp of Death together. Me and Mikey Anarchy, the Underground Pillars.
You know what? We're gonna definitely be clipping that tomorrow morning on Sportswire. You don't have to worry. You don't have to send that to anybody. I can do that. We can have a way to put that out there. I mean, whoa! You know what? I definitely think. Yeah, I'm with Ox McCoy. I'm definitely happy for you. I didn't see that one coming. I would have thought, all right, maybe you're going to see, I don't know, you're going to see Be Insane at a Boys and Girls Club show again. Maybe you're going to be going, I don't know, to EBW Pro. I believe that. I love EBW Pro, but you just said the CZW. You're going to be competing. I mean, this is you stop people's hearts. When they hear this on Instagram, they're going to stop some people's hearts. I see. This is just, congratulations. You've had an amazing, GTS, you done that. IMF, you done that. You've done a place in the South. You've done that. Pro Wrestling Venom. You've done that. Certainly NEW is the undisputed champion. Done that. Your own YouTube channel. You've done that. Twitch. You're a Twitch streamer. You've done that. But now CZW. You said WWE, AEW. Well, CZW. By the way, and another company with 3 initials. You certainly like 3 initials, but for good reason. But no, for very good reason that you like companies with 3 initials, and you're not coming alone. I mean, boy, ladies and gentlemen, all I can say is you got to support Gabe Sayers. This man definitely, maybe Jordan Crowley's right. He's going to stop our hearts here because this man drops bombs. And you know what? I can only say that I can't wait to see what happens. But I'll tell you what, please support, though, his company, TF Crew. Please support his Eventbrite page for the TF Crew show. I will be buying a ticket at the end of the week. I would like everybody else to please support the TF Crew because that's the most important thing, to support the companies that are going out there and giving these talent opportunities. Gabe said here tonight, he wants to give more people an opportunity at live shows to get paid. The only way that we can support those to get more opportunities to buy a ticket. I've been sharing on my Facebook page the last couple weeks, support independent wrestling. And this is about the same thing, support independent wrestling. So please do that. And that's what it's all about. And we will certainly continue to do that. We'll be talking a lot about this with Jake, Caster, Angel Santiago. I got to say it with the Santiago because if I don't, he will not be coming on here. But let me pass the baton to you. Let me give you some closing thoughts. And boy, you definitely pack a punch. And can't wait to meet you in person more than I see on Sportswire. But until then, let me give you the floor. Let me give you some closing thoughts and take it away.
I always love being on Sportswire. It's been such a blessing to be on Sportswire for these past couple hours. And I really hope that everybody had a fantastic time tonight. I know it's quiet down a little bit, tired. We got bedtime and all that good stuff, but grind won't stop for me. After this, I'm going to be working on another video because I'm an idiot and I like to work on YouTube content only late at night. Make a little snack for myself. Probably going to Planet Fitness, to be honest. Probably going to go to the gym after this. And then
you know what? One of my buddies who was a basketball player from Massachusetts, that's what he used to do. He would go to the gym at midnight, 1 o'clock. And, that's what he was. He was a big health foot nut. Bill Wilcox, God rest his soul. And he played basketball in Puerto Rico and Florida. He'd always tell me, go work out at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. That's what he did. That's what he'd always do.
Production doesn't stop, so neither should you. I hope everybody in here can achieve their goals and fulfill their destiny, however they see fit. Thank you again, Tom, for the platform to be able to yap and talk, and it's been fantastic interacting with everybody in chat. We would be nowhere without the audience, so thank you again to the audience for being here and hanging out with us all night.
They did.
I can't wait to see everybody soon on Sportswire, and I can't wait to compete in CZW and come back to Sportswire and, bring that experience. You know what I mean?
That's what I love. You know what? That's before we sign off. I hear about you getting an opportunity like this. Jake in 814. What Shocky's done for himself in X Brand. Mickey Vargas, what he's done in ACW. Joey Knight Jr. ACW. I see what Savage has done in Battlefield, wrestling Tommy Invincible. I see what the IMF guys have done. James Taylor just announced he's wrestling in Mississippi on a show, and that's what I like to see. I like
on a trampoline.
No, it's in the ring. He's wrestling for an independent wrestling company. I know. I walked into that, but he is wrestling in an independent company, and he's, wrestling, and he's got a real thing. And listen, that's, you guys can say what you like, but I'm here to say that I'm here to support everybody, and that's what I love seeing is people get opportunities. Stephen Havoc, a veteran late in his career, hardcore you mentioned, Doc Holly, or Rad Dad beating Darius Carter, number 151 in the PWI 500, that's what I'm here for. I like seeing people go and achieve their dreams. Justin Parsley, shows up to IMF in his career. Look at where it goes. I like seeing people. D'Angelo LaFlame, he's down there in Texas. I see all these people. I'm going to say the guy Caden Gallows, yes, trampoline, but just graduated from, a big wrestling school academy with some guy who's married to Becky Lynch, from Iowa. That's what I'm here for. And I think that that's what it's all about. You've done that. Congratulations to you on that. Most importantly, jokes aside, I can't wait for the TF Crew show. I can't wait for you to talk about your stuff in CZW and other places. And definitely look forward to meeting you in person very soon, very, very soon. And congratulations on the success. The best is yet to come. And thank you for getting us a big turnout. We appreciate it very much.
Hey, bro, we got to make that ad money, right, Sam? We
I
gotta
don't need
hope that they
money.
go watch the replays, and then
Nah,
we get you
no,
that. Yeah.
you're a college graduate. I tell my mother's a beneficiary of my bank account now. We're ready. We got family members ready to go. When are you gonna croak already? We got family members that are ready to go. So they're like, you can go already. No. You young man, you just graduated college. Make some money. If I don't live another day after tonight, I've lived a successful life. Let's just put it that way. We have family members who'll be like, I'm serious. We have family members that'll be like, "Let's go already," So,
Rubbing their
Gabe,
hands. Yeah.
you're a good young man, and I can't wait to see you soon in the flesh and wound. Congratulations, yes, Zilla, subscribe. We got a lot of
Let's go,
subscribers on your
Zilla.
pages
Shout out
tonight.
Zilla.
That's great, but go make some content. Go have a snack. That's Gabe Sayers. He is the owner of the TF Crew. We love the TF Crew. We love NEW. He's their undisputed champion. You can also see him places like GTS and also now CZW September 6th. But September 7th, Day of Atonement, we have more coverage coming up with that Wednesday night, Jake Dvorak, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, Caster Friday, 8:30. Maybe Angel Santiago. If I'm home, I might be, unless I'm going to a Jewish deli with I'm going to say with a guy at a Jewish deli who worked for Bill Clinton. Yeah, I shouldn't say it, but I
Wow.
just said, yeah, I know. That's why I don't feel bad. They don't need the YouTube money. You need it. That's why I said that. I dropped my bomb there.
There you
And
go. I
he
like it. I
actually
like
knows
it,
me
Tom.
from 10 years ago. So, yeah, we'll leave that. I can't wait to go to a Jewish deli. You have no idea how I'm excited about
They're
that in
so
Brooklyn.
good.
But we'll leave that at that. Thank you, everybody. Sub to Gabe's pages. And we'll see everybody with Jay the Awesome, by the way. I'm very excited for Jay, by the way. He deserves to be here. Please support Jay the way you supported Gabe. He is a great guy, and I really can't wait to see him. But thank you, Gabe. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one, Couple Radio, that is Sportswire Radio, where all music and wrestling rise. See you tomorrow, everybody.